What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Spawn Point Podcast. And unfortunately, I have to jump out in front of this episode again because I had a microphone issue. All of my filters and OBS got jacked up somehow, so my microphone gain is through the roof. I tried to fix it in post many different ways and wasn't able to really find a solution that made sense or didn't mess it up somewhere else in the recording. So we just kind of have to deal with it. So I apologize. You're going to be able to hear like all of my inhales and like background noise and shit like that. But I literally can't fix it. So it's just kind of where it is. And this episode's just not going to sound the best. I'm so sorry. I will have it fixed for next episode, but I just wanted to jump out in front of it for this one. It's like the worst one to have an audio issue in because it was a fun episode, but hopefully you can deal with it. I'm so sorry. I'll have it fixed for next episode. But I just wanted to get ahead of it and let you guys know. Other than that, on to the episode. Enjoy. We'll talk to you guys later.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Spawn Point Podcast. And I'm going to come right out the gate and say, if you watched last week, I apologize. I wasn't there. Something came up. I had to take care of it. We, like Cam mentioned, even in our Pokemon section, that's actually the first segment we did last week. We got through that, and then something came up, and I was like, dude, I got to go. And he's like, go. So thankfully, Cam was able to step in, record a mini episode for us so that we didn't just completely skip out on a week, because I did not want that to happen. I even texted him that night and was like, all right, I think I can hop back on. And he's like, well, I kind of did something already. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
let's just roll with that. So
Yeah.
my apologies. It wasn't like a death or anything. It was just a family thing I had to take care of. So
Yep.
I kind of had to do it at the moment. So that's why I wasn't here. So this is technically going to be our real episode 9. We'll get to 10.
Yes.
Eventually.
We will.
It might be 9.5 next week, 9.75 the following week, but we'll get to 10. So anyway, apart from that, I'm here with Cam as always. How was your week?
Dude, this question comes to me every week, and I always like it. As soon as you ask me, my brain goes dead.
We should come up with a different question.
I worked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's that. I played a lot of games because I had we had a blizzard on Monday. So I took that as an excuse to take a day off. And then I was like, well, I already took one day off. Might as well roll it. So I took the Tuesday off for no reason. Then I had Wednesday off. So I had 3 days off. So I played a lot of games. So we're going to have a very loaded gaming section this week. So it's going to be fun. But
we sure are.
That was my week. There's nothing different about me either.
I was just going to say, there's something else that's just a little different.
I got tired of waiting on my fucking barber, and then I tried to cut my own hair, and then it went terrible, and I took a chunk out, and I just said, fuck it, whipping it all off. So everything's fine.
Yep.
Hair grows back, dude. I'm getting so much shit on Facebook about it, but here's what it is.
I saw that, man. I'm like, dude, it looks good.
I mean, that's my sense of humor with people. I give people shit, so I expect it when shit like that comes out. It's just the way it is. It's all good. It's fun.
Like, what did you do? I'm like, fun stuff. Looks good.
It's fine. At least I got a round head, and all my grays are gone. So we're doing okay. What about yourself though?
I mean, yeah, the same. Worked. The blizzard kind of did suck on Monday.
You went through it. You worked it.
I worked it. It was fine. It really was fine.
It was fine. I could have made it.
The worst part about it though was like we got that rain first, and then that shit the temperature just dropped and all that shit froze. We didn't actually get a ton of snow, but the snow kind of piled up on top of the ice. So the roads for at least a few hours that morning were awful. They were a freaking sheet of ice. So yeah, I didn't blame anyone for not making it there. And like we've mentioned in the past, we worked for the post office. So we also have to rely on stuff making it to us so that we can deliver the stuff. And we didn't get all of our stuff. So we kind of had a short day Monday, and we've basically just been playing catch up all week with all the stuff that just keeps coming in. We
did catch up finally.
You did? Okay.
For
the most part.
There's one particular route where the guy never mind. That route's fucked still. Let's just put it that way. But everything else is fine.
And that's fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, typical Iowa blizzard Monday. Fucking 85. I think it hit 89 yesterday.
Did it really?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going? So hopefully this is the last fall spring. We've had like 4 this year. So hopefully we are done with that.
Every year.
I know. Other than that, yeah. So let's go housekeeping. I didn't do it last week, but that's fine. Follow us on YouTube. Spawn Point Network. New uploads almost every day. I got a little lazy last week, so I apologize, but we'll continue to get back on track with that.
I did as well, so I apologize myself.
So, YouTube podcasts are posted on there. Leave us a like, comment, subscribe over there. We are 3 away from unlocking live streaming on YouTube now, which will be cool because then I can just do my arcade live streams that I've been doing on Spawn Point instead of on my personal, which will be good. So go ahead and check us out there. If you're watching on Spotify, go ahead and rate the show. Please comment down below there. I would appreciate it. My cat's having a sneeze attack over there. Social media, you can get us on every social media out there somehow. Spawn Point CJ or Spawn Point Network, depending on where you're at. So you can get a hold of us there. And you can send us emails for business inquiries or whatever it may be to what email?
SpawnPointNetwork@outlook.com.
What was that?
That was SpawnPointNetwork@outlook.com. SpawnPointNetwork@outlook.com.
Goddamn right. Check us out or send us emails there. We would appreciate it. Join our Discord. We are talking to each other on there with no community interaction, but boy, it would be nice to have someone else talk to us in there. We talk about music, food, gaming, movies, a bunch of shit. It's fun time.
Everything.
There is still 8 Founders titles remaining in the Discord, so go and claim that before we blow up, which is inevitable.
Oh, it's gonna happen, man.
Sound like a fucking asshole, but no, I think it will happen. So if you want to stand out in the Discord, claim your Founders badge or title in there. That would be really cool. And again, you can talk to us about anything. We love hearing about any games. If you've watched the show, we cover the most random shit, including this week. Including this week, it's gonna be weird. So it'll be good.
Yeah. And if we've got the movie section in there too. If you want to hear about a fantastic movie I just watched the other night, I can start telling you guys about that.
I don't think I added. I will add a movie text channel, but I don't watch shit. But go ahead.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so there isn't a movie thing, but I can just put it in something else. But anyway, I saw one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life the other night. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bring it up. It's so bad.
Join the Discord, and I'll add a movie text channel, and you can talk movies in there too, whatever it may be. We would love to have you. The link should be in the description, no matter where you're watching. So join us there; would be very appreciated. Let's get into the show. It's going to be a long one this week, I think. Unfortunately, I'm just going to go ahead. I say every episode's going to be short, and then it runs fucking longer than the last one. So this week, I'm saying it's long, and maybe it'll be our shortest episode. I highly doubt it. But
I doubt it.
let's jump in. Jason, starting us off with a fun one. Go ahead and take it away from here.
Absolutely. So I've been playing this one for a while, and I've mentioned it multiple times on the show, but I'm finally going to give it its due. I planned on talking about this last week, but like I mentioned, I wasn't able to, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because in the week since, I beat this game, and it is fantastic, and it is called Mini Shoot Adventures. So let me break this game down a little bit. It is a kind of like a Zelda light, like an old school, almost very Link to the Past Zelda, but instead it's a twin stick shooter, and you control this little spaceship, and the spaceships in this are actually like sentient, so like they're not like, there's not like a pilot in the ship, they are the ship, so like the ships are live. So that's your character. You control this little spaceship character, and you go around this pretty large open world-ish map. I mean, it is open world, but there's definitely areas that you can't access until you get different powers. It's different abilities. That's where it reminds me a lot of Zelda, in a sense that like, ooh, I can see something, but I can't quite get it yet. So this actually originally came out on PC back in 2024. It I had never heard of it somehow, even though it got like super good reviews. Everyone was like praising it. It just kind of it feels like it came and went. I mean, fast enough that I didn't even hear about this game. So, this was talked about during the Nintendo Indie Showcase, and it basically shadow dropped the same day, which was March 3rd of this year, and it is available for the Switch 2, PS5, and Xbox. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. So, but yeah, like I said, you control this tiny little spaceship. Um, and it's kind of a handcrafted world. Like it's obviously not like procedurally generated and stuff like that. So it's not like a roguelite, which kind of when you see this type of thing, it just seems like everything's going to like a roguelite these days, and this is totally not that. So, um, kind of repeat myself a little bit, but yeah, like I said, it blends like the Zelda formula with by exploring an overworld. There's like a whole bunch of dungeons, which is very Zelda-like. So you have this massive like overworld, and then there's all these caves and temples and all the stuff that you can go into. And there's basically four main like bosses, I guess you want to call that. There's some kind of like evil corruption took over this land, and you're basically out sent out to cleanse it to get it back to the way it was. Very, kind of generic, but the story like it works because there's no voice acting. Obviously, there's very little even like text based stuff. Like some of the uh other ships kind of do talk to you, but not really. The only text you really get is like when you're like purchasing like upgrades or items from like these shops. It just kind of gives you a description of what they're selling. But even when you like go talk to like this NPC, you're not really talking to him. You're doing this little like weird robot speak thing, and you can click down on the left stick, and your character does this little like squeaking kind of machine noise, and like that's how you talk, but you don't know what the hell they're saying. So yeah, so like unlike Zelda, where you're running around with a sword and stuff, you're basically doing the same thing, but you're shooting your gun, and you can upgrade your weapons, your ship speed, your boost speed. Eventually you get like this like powered up blaster attack. You can upgrade that. There's a ton of upgrades, and they're doled out pretty pretty consistently, and honestly, a lot of it has to do with collecting these red gems that break off of enemies when you kill them, and then up in the corner of the screen, there's this little, like, diamond-shaped thing, and it's pretty cool. Like, when you collect these gems, they kind of fall into this, like, diamond, and then as it fills up with these gems, you level up, and then once you level up, you get, like, this diamond piece, and you add these diamond pieces into your ship in a number of different places. Like I said, there's fire rate, there's fire distance, so like how far your bullets travel, obviously damage, and then you've got your ship speed, your boost speed, all that stuff I mentioned earlier. So it's got a really good like um, progression in that sense. So not only are you progressing through this world and trying to figure out where to go next and what's going on with this world, you're constantly upgrading your ship too. I mean, I by the end game, you do have to. I mean, it's very Zelda in a sense that you do revisit old areas that you weren't able to access earlier, and some of those areas, like when you know, were in them for the first time very early game, some even like the littler enemies kind of gave you a little bit of trouble, and you go back after a while. I mean, and one bullet basically kills everything, you know, that you visited, everything in the areas that you visited earlier. So, yeah, not like overly tough, but just tough enough that I never got to where, like, if I couldn't beat a boss, like, I was like, "Alright, I'm done." Maybe except for the final boss, but, um I never got to where I was like, "This I can't. This is frustrating." It every time I died, I was right back in it. And um one of the only criticisms I think I would have for this is like checkpointing. It saves everything that you do. So if like you level up your ship and you die shortly after, it saves all that stuff, but it throws you back to wherever the last place that you were able to access these little tiles in the ground where there's like a shape of your ship, and that kind of acts as like a checkpoint, but there's very, very few of them. So like there's one at your main central area, and then there's basically one in like the four main dungeons, and that's kind of all I've seen so far. So if you die and you're way up on the top of the map and you didn't touch that like ship regen area, you really got to go back to your main thing and go all the way back up. But um anyway, what I was trying to get at with that was like with the bosses and stuff. I mean, there's always one of those things like before a boss. So like every time I died, I was like, all right, I I fucked up. I know I can do that better, and I would go right back in. So it kept me entertained, honestly, the entire time. I was very into this game. But yeah, then the final boss was definitely tough. There was multiple stages of him, and you kept thinking like you got it. Like you'd go through all these different stages of this guy, and then you'd like blow him up, and then you're like, oh, thank God. And then you'd like form into this other thing, and you're like, Jesus Christ. And when you died, you had to do all the stages again. So like it didn't checkpoint like, okay, I beat like the first outer shell of him. Now, it starts me at no, it started you from the beginning. So, but I kind of liked it. Like the game wasn't overly tough up until that point. So like I kind of liked the challenge of the bosses.
Right.
So yeah, that's Mini Shoot Adventures. I looked at my playtime when I rolled credits, and it was 11 hours and 31 minutes. So not a real short thing. I'm sure you could have done it faster. I did get lost a few times, but yeah, it's a great game. And the funny thing is like, Cam and I both listen to other like podcasts and stuff, we we're into this shit. So we'll listen to other gaming podcasts as well. So,
Yep.
and a lot of people have been talking about this, and it's kind of been like a split like, oh, you haven't heard of this? I played this on PC. And then some of these people are like, I'd never heard of this until now. And everyone is like, I mean, I listened to this Nintendo podcast, and the one host guy, he's like, I'm not in charge of reviewing this. He's like, if I was, I would probably give this a 10.
Mm,
He's like, it is fantastic.
nice.
So
Oh
very
yeah.
good little indie game.
Hell yeah. I'm on the board. I have not heard of this. So I think it's cool that you're covering it. Indies.
Mhm.
Fucking indies are so good. It's just indies are where gaming is right now. To be honest, if and then there's so many of them that you just miss them. So like I had no idea this even came out. So very cool that you're covering it.
Mhm.
Couple questions. So
Yep.
I see in the footage here, it's kind of got like a textured background, right? So you have like canopies of trees above where you're kind of going.
Mhm.
Did you have any trouble navigating, or was it all pretty well laid out so you kind of could tell where you were going in these situations?
It is very, very well laid out. You can always tell where you're going. The thing about like some of the canopies and some of like the overhangs and stuff, not only in the trees but some of the structures, is they hide secret passages.
Yeah.
So if you can see in some of this footage, I'm kind of going all along like the edges and stuff, because I always found that if I did that in these areas, I'd find this little
Yeah.
offshoot, and it
Gotcha.
was always like a heart piece or something. Like very Zelda, you collect 4 pieces
Mhm.
of these hearts to get you a full heart. You can also buy full hearts from these, basically all the ships that are in like your hub area are ships that you've rescued out in the world. So when you start, there's nobody there. You're rescuing all these people, and one of them just opens up a shop. One opens up the upgrade path. One will reveal chunks of the map if you find them a map piece. Um, oh, there's a couple more I can't even remember. And to do that, it's like to upgrade your like your overall attack power. It's a little different than I don't know if you're watching right now. Yeah, I'm in the menu right now with all like the the
Mhm.
abilities on the right and like the powers on the left, and those will just kind of upgrade your fire rate and stuff. But some one of the ships that you rescue, you give him these like red gear looking things, and he'll like attack boost your attack power even more. So that was really cool. I mean, I was my ship was pretty for a little guy, he was pretty tough
Yeah,
by the end of the game. So yeah, I mean, back to your question, like about, it's all purposely laid out. It's very well designed
perfect.
in that sense. So if you're about exploration, which I am, finding all those little nooks and crannies and stuff is actually kind of fun
Oh
in my
yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry. How long did it say you'd say it took you to beat it?
Roll credits at 11 hours and 31 minutes.
Okay, pretty substantial, honestly. Game's
And there's
$14.99, so that's pretty.
yeah,
So that's pretty good
yeah,
bang for your buck.
there's a lot more that I could do. There is one like bonus dungeon because I kept running into this one place that I found. It's like hidden in this tree, and you go into this tree, and it's just this long, long, long hallway. I mean, you're cruising down this hallway for a while, and nothing's happening. I'm like, where is this taking me? And then all of a sudden, from the top of the screen, you get these giant, unavoidable one-hit kill bullets that come at you. Like you literally can't you can't get through it. So I was like very intrigued. I'm like, how do I get this? Well, then I found out that there's scattered throughout this whole world, I think there's 8 races that you can do against this other little ship. And when I was beating those races, like nothing really happened. Like the little ship guy that I was racing would go back to your hub, and then they just kind of fly around. I'm like, well, there's a lot of like, I wouldn't call it necessarily mystery, but there's a lot of things that you're like, I know that did something, but I can't figure out what it did yet. And there was even ships that I would rescue and then go back to my hub and be like, they're not here. Like, there's got to be something. And you kind of slowly kind of figure all that stuff out. But anyway, what I found out was I'd only beaten 6 of the 8 races. It's basically, I only beat the ones that I found. There's 2 races that I didn't find somewhere. And in order to access this area, you have to get an ability by beating these 8 races that lets you bypass those basically one hit kill bullets. So I think I am gonna kind of go back in, try to find these 2 more races and see what this like hidden dungeon has got in it. So
Nice.
even after beating it, I was like, I think I'm done, but I think there might be just enough that I might might dabble in this a little bit more. So
Oh yeah. So end
yeah.
game doesn't just end the game. There's still you can still do shit after you beat the final boss.
Absolutely. You go right back to your main hub area, and you can go right back out into the world and do all the stuff that you missed.
Very cool.
You One of the vendor guys will give you this thing where he shows you all the spots on the map that you haven't basically completed. Like you may have run through it and beat it essentially, but there's still hidden things in there. So like my map is still pretty scattered with these little things that I can go do.
Yeah.
Most of them are like health upgrades and stuff like that. So I don't think they're necessary at this point since I
Sure.
beat it. But the one thing I'm still curious about is that final kind of hidden dungeon area. I want to see what that's all about. So
Absolutely. Again, I feel like there's not much to say. The art style
no.
is really cool in this game. I like the colors. I like the color
Hmm.
palette. I like the art direction. I feel like we say that about
Hmm.
every game. I wish I had another way to like word it, but I mean, there another
I
way to word it? It's just a cool
don't
art
think so.
style.
That's what it is.
It's very very neat. How's the sound design?
Great, great. I should have mentioned that earlier. The music is phenomenal. And this, I mean, the sound design, like the effects and stuff, that's all fine. I mean, everything's kind of just pew pew with your bullets and stuff like that. But the soundtrack, I think, is great. It's almost like this, like, um, kind of mysterious synth, like, almost like cyberpunk-y, but not really.
Yeah.
A little more melodic and stuff, but very like ominous sort of music, but it's done really well. I loved the music
Cool.
in this one. So yeah.
Let's take a second, kind of go on this because it's what ties into what you said. But let's talk about final bosses in video games for a second, because
Sure.
you mentioned as well this has a very tough final boss. Every game I've ever played almost has had a very difficult final boss, but it seems like it's required because they're trying to make the game memorable, right? So if you have a really hard final boss that you overcome, then it's more likely that the game will stick in your head longer, sort of, so to speak, sort of thing. Maybe we don't have to talk about it. I think I just answered my own question. Where am I going to go with that?
I don't know.
Fucking know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the game was hard. The final boss was difficult. You said the game itself wasn't too bad. There's not even a question there. What am I talking about?
No. Okay, hang on. Let me kind of address what maybe you're like referring to. It kind of, well, you mentioned like they throw these final bosses in to kind of make things memorable. Like, oh my god, I overcame this big obstacle. I finally defeated the final dude that's been plaguing me this entire game. This one though, like yes, it was tough, but with the not really knowing exactly what's going on in this, like I'm guessing this final boss was like the main culprit of like why this world is the way it is, but it didn't really like explain anything, I guess. Like I beat him and then it was like, it kind of like did this thing where the world kind of like lightened up. Like it didn't actually change the color or anything like that, but it's just did this like cleansing thing, which is still kind of weird because then when you go back into the world, you still got these enemies that were essentially kind of maybe controlled by this guy. I don't know. But this one, the ending of this one was more like you said, like oh god, I did it. Like I beat this guy. But then it didn't. I don't know if that boss is gonna hold any like memorable things for me. No.
So let me.
It was just tough.
Okay. Go ahead. No, yeah, I got you. So I guess my question is, the root of my question is, do you think it's almost a requirement in a video game to have a very difficult final boss or not?
Well, I don't know if I don't know. It kind of seems like it, but it also depends on the game. Like this is a very like retro kind of looking game. It doesn't play retro. It plays very modern and smooth and everything. But I think to kind of just fit in with how these games used to be, there was always that final boss. Like that was a video game thing. Like, did you beat the final boss? Like, I think they're just keeping that kind of going with this style of game. But yeah, I don't know.
This is gonna come up. It's gonna come up again in this probably the worst posed question I've ever asked. And I apologize for that. I don't really know what point I'm trying to make here, but we'll talk about this a little bit later in the episode when I wrap up Kree Soul. But that again. So like the final boss in Kree Soul was just ridiculously difficult to the point where I was like, I think I would have appreciated it more if it wasn't as difficult, because then I would have been able to get the game done sooner. Maybe that says a lot about Kree Soul. I don't know. But I don't, it's just interesting, right? Because I think you're on the right track with their trying to keep the culture alive of, have you beat the final boss type of thing. But I don't know if it's required, and I guess in some cases, but if you really like the game, if I really love a game, I want a really difficult final boss, but then it's almost a hindrance at other points. So it's just interesting.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. That makes total sense, because where you want to feel like you're really enjoying a game and you kind of want that final boss, to be tough, so that you've like tackled the final thing in this great game that you've been enjoying. But if it's a game that you're basically out just to finally beat,
like,
then it's just kind of Yeah, then it's kind of like, can we just get this over with? I
Yeah.
want this game to be over.
Yeah, anyways, that's not even really a question. It's just I don't even know what that was. We're just gonna move on and act like it never happened.
Okay. Erased.
Mini Shoot Adventures, very cool. $14.99. You can get it everywhere, which is cool. It sucks. I wish games like this would get more backing from the community. It's so hard because indie games are, like I mentioned, they're where it's at, but like there's so many of them that it's so hard to keep all of them on your radar. So things like this just fly under the radar, and it sucks because I would love this game and I had no idea it existed. Nowhere, anywhere had mentioned it. So just sucks. I mean, it just points to the fact that we're missing a bunch of gold out there somewhere. So
but isn't it kind of fun though? Like I take a little bit of enjoyment of like feeling like I found something.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I found this great thing. I do the same thing with music when I find like this artist that I literally hadn't heard anyone else talking about, and I was like, these guys freaking rule. Like, I take a little bit of enjoyment from that, and I'm not like, I try not to be like a snob about it and be like, well, I found this game. I try to like share it, with everyone and be like, dude, this game rules. I don't know if you heard about it, but
you
should check it
do
out.
have a hidden talent for that. Because you got me fucking wanting to buy shit all the time on here, and then fucking you show me Angine de Poitrine, and now I can't stop listening to them, and fucking Wet Leg and all this shit. So
Wet Leg.
you have a special gift at that. So it's good to have you on the podcast because now you get everybody else in the community buying the games. So that's good. Check out Mini Shoot Adventures wherever you can. Let us know what you think about it down below, or if you already played it, let us know what you thought. You did beat this though. Give us a rating.
I'm gonna go with a 9.
Ooh, good. Ooh, boy, that's fucking higher than some of the other ratings you've given on this show. Love that.
It was really, really good, and it ties in a little bit to. So at the very end of this show, we're gonna, in our community section that I missed last week, there's a question that I wanna answer, and I think it's going to tie into why I'm giving this game a pretty high score. I mean, I don't think it matters. It's a great game.
Oh yeah. This game might come up again at the end of the year for Game of the Year discussion. It might make the top 10 for Jason.
It might.
Love that.
Yep.
Love that.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Let's move on from there if you're ready.
Yep.
Jason comes more prepared to talk games than I do, so here I am. I posted in Discord, and I asked, our nobody community. I needed an FPS. I was in the mood for a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And I got Toxic Commando, which I don't have any friends to play co-op games with, so that wasn't. I mean, that game looks cool, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. So shout out Devin, thanks for recommending it, but I don't want to play that alone. So anyways, I just picked up High on Life because the second one came out. Jason talked a lot of shit, talked very highly of High on Life.
Yeah, you're gonna say I didn't talk shit about it.
Talked very highly about this game. So I decided I was looking for an FPS. No better time than now to dive into the first High on Life, and I'm having a fucking blast. This game is the shit, dude. It's so much fun. The premise is bonkers, basically. The aliens invade Earth and they use humans as drugs. So, like, it's a wild concept. But throughout the game, basically, you're a human that goes to an alien planet that defeats the G3, which is this collaboration of aliens, basically. And it's just a shooter. It's a shooting gallery, but this game has the most incredible sense of humor of all time. It constantly has me cracking up and laughing. Just some of the shit that they say. The fourth wall breaking in this game is almost constant. Your weapons are a race of aliens called doesn't matter what they're called. Galadrians. Yeah. They're a race of enemies. So your enemies talk to you, and they just do some really clever, funny shit with the fact that your guns talk to you. Like there was this one moment right when I went into the first alien world, there was this little kid alien, this young alien, and he was like talking shit to me. So I like pointed my gun at him and tried to shoot, and he's like, "Hey, let's not murder kids here." The gun told me like, "Let's not murder kids." So I hit the button again and actually murdered the kid. And the gun was like, I just can't believe that we allowed you to kill a child in a video game. Normally, that's not how this type of thing goes. No, this shit. It was just really fucking hilarious. I was busting up laughing, and then I walked down the ramp a little bit and talked to like this vendor that was standing there, and it was actually his mom. And his mom was like, "Oh, thank God! I was so fucking tired of him." And don't be too sad. He was actually 18. He just looked young because we age very slowly in this race. So it was just fucking hilarious. And this game does that shit all the time. Hilarious game. I think the game is the art style. It's not. I mean, I typically prefer to play a game with realistic weapons, and it's just weird when you're aiming down sights and you got two eyeballs staring at you in the face, and stuff like that. But it grows on you. I mean, this game's humor is top notch. It's just a lot of fun. So I will say with this, the story is great so far. I mean, it's just basically, your standard FPS. It's not doing anything crazy, but it's enough to keep the game going. And honestly, I'm here for the humor, and that's kind of what's carrying this game forward. The game is very, very, very based on Halo, though. Like, you can just feel Halo in this game. Like, the little enemies are just like grunts. You've got like the bigger enemies are just like the larger enemies in Halo. It's very Halo inspired, to the point that you unlock a gun that is basically the Needler in this game. Yep. Like, it's quite literally very modeled gameplay wise after Halo, and the shooting is great. The mechanics are fine. There's no complaints there with any of that stuff. It's a really fun FPS game that if you haven't played, I would recommend playing. Shout out to the Knife as well. He's like a bloodthirsty, crazy psychopath, and like, the game is just wild. But I'm having a ton of fun with it. I'm about maybe halfway through. I think I've killed 4 of the 8. So maybe I'm not halfway through, but that's kind of where I'm at with the game right now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's one I'm going to keep going back to, but I just wanted to mention it because I'm playing it, and the second one is out, so I know we're a little late talking about the original, but I wanted to play this one before I got into the second one, and I'm having a really, really good time with it. So
yeah, it's a ton of fun. I beat this one maybe last year, something like that. I don't know. It was, and it's surprising. I'm glad you mentioned the Halo thing. It is very.
yeah,
I felt like I was playing a goofy Halo like most of the time.
Yep.
In this game. So, but I was kind of surprised and happy that like you were mentioning the gunplay, even though they're freaking these crazy alien things, the actual gunplay was pretty fun. Like,
really
it
fun.
was. Yeah,
And they do some great things with, like, sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but like, your pistol that you start with, Kenny, that you start with, has a special ability where you can lob like a grenade. So you can lob the grenade, and then it launches the enemies in the air, and then when they're in the air, you can shoot them and juggle them, and that does more damage. So there's just like these little mechanics that they put in here to change the feel, so it's not just like a shooting gallery. There is some strategy, so to speak, involved with how you're dispatching these waves of enemies and stuff, which is all very smart. That's not necessarily something that was in Halo, but it's cool here because it does keep the gameplay fresh and diverse and allows you to kind of to mix up things and have some fun little combos. So anyways, continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 100%. I'm remembering stuff, now watching this. There are these certain enemies that like you basically are like shooting off their armor in a sense, and they turn into these like gray like alien dudes. So I mean, it's kind of cool. It's not just like, shoot until they die. Like they react, to to you shooting them, and they change like their physical look, as you're dispatching them. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And if you're unfamiliar at all with the kind of behind the scenes of this game, it was Squanch Games is who like the developer of this, and it was created by if you're familiar at all with Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland, who is the one of the co-creators of the Rick and Morty series. He did get into some hot water with some allegations and stuff. He did end up getting removed from from Rick and Morty, but he is still with Squanch Games. But if you are familiar with Rick and Morty, the basically the first gun you get is Morty from Rick and Morty. It is the exact same voice. Like he didn't try anything different, which is fine because Morty's hilarious and it just makes the gun, that much funnier. So if you like Rick and Morty's kind of humor, it's a lot of that is in this. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm a
Absolutely.
huge Rick and Morty fan. I mean, I got a big poster back there. I've
Yeah.
got a Rick little statue thing over there. I absolutely have loved Rick and Morty since episode 1.
Yeah.
So
I need to watch.
Yeah.
I don't watch shit, but I should watch it because I love the humor in this game. So I would love it for sure.
Oh, you would love Rick and Morty. It's so smart. It is it's stupid, but it's very smart. Like if you watch these episodes, like the story that they weave and stuff and the things they come back to, you're like, dude, you would not have to do half of that
Yeah.
in a dumb cartoon. It is just, it's smart.
Perfect.
That's what I love about it. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, it's just a really. It looks goofy, but I promise, if you're big into FPS games, you're gonna like this game. It's very complete as far in terms of this sort of genre. I've played so many first-person shooters in my life that it's to the point where they all kind of feel the same, and this one doesn't necessarily do anything outside of the mold necessarily. It still feels like a first-person shooter. It's just very competent in its gameplay, which is about as high of a compliment as you can give an FPS, in my opinion. And this game adds humor, which is not something we see in this genre, honestly, ever. And it works incredibly well here. So this is a game I would really recommend. I'm still going to chug on through this one. I'm about halfway done, so hopefully to get this one done within the next couple episodes or so. But
I think you can do it.
It was a great recommendation from you, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. So I can't wait to continue to move forward. I haven't unlocked all the weapons, I think, though. So that's a little bit of a bummer. That was kind of like my favorite part. Maybe there's something coming, but I've got all 4. So my wheel is full. So anyways, we'll talk more about this later. Yeah, check it out if you haven't. Again, I'm not the type of person that could just jump into 2 and not play the first. I just don't like doing that. I'm sure you could play the second one with no context from the first game, but I don't know for sure. But anyways, I'm gonna keep playing High on Life, and then it's gonna move the second one up on my backlog. So anyways, yes, very fun game.
Yep, haven't started the second one yet either. I plan to. So at some point down the road, I probably both of us will be talking about High on Life too.
Yep. So awesome game so far. Loving it. You can get it $39.99. PC, PS5, Xbox Series, Switch? Question mark.
Yes, it's on Switch.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, there's a Switch 2 version too. It runs. Well, I played it on the original Switch and beat it. I had this both. I played this both on Xbox and Switch. Yeah, the Switch version was fine. Obviously it was a little blurry in spots. And then the Switch 2 version came out, and I think it was a free upgrade. I don't remember, but yeah, I jumped back in just to see. I didn't plan on like playing it all the way through again, but oh god, it looked just like the Xbox version.
Oh, perfect.
Was nice. So
yeah. This is also on PlayStation Plus if you are an online subscriber to that, so you can get it for no price. Well, for the price of the subscription on there, if you want to. But very fun. I will continue to chug on through this one. Let's move right along. Jason, you got the next one.
Let's do it. Well, looks like we're going to stick with the first-person shooter theme for this next one. So I have been playing a ton of Dead Zone Rogue. This was another one that was talked about during the indie showcase from Nintendo. It's been out for a while on just PC, or is this on
yeah, just PC.
Just PC. Okay. So which is kind of surprising, like it goes from PC to Switch too, but whatever.
Weird.
Yeah. So basically Dead Zone Rogue is kind of what happens if you would take like, tactical kind of weighty gunplay of like Apex Legends, maybe a little Halo, and basically throw it into like this kind of dark sci-fi roguelite. You wake up on this like massive derelict deep space ship with no memory. I know that's something that's in so many games. It's kind of been played over and over, but it works here. I mean, the story is fine, for what it is. But basically, you your goal is to fight through these like basically four pretty large procedurally generated zones to kind of figure out why the ship is now crawling with these like biomechanical freaking weird enemies. There's all kinds of different style of enemies. There's almost like these like zombie looking dudes, but a lot of like the first, enemies are like these basically robots. Maybe they're like protectors of this ship or something. I don't know, but whatever happened, they've basically they're all against you, and you don't even know who you are and
Yeah.
and why you're here. I think you kind of slowly are kind of figuring out you're some sort of marine or something. I mean, you're obviously very good with guns and stuff, but anyway, you're just trying to get through these levels, and I would assume essentially at the end, kind of figure out what kind of happened here. So, uh, it's the gunplay, man, that
Yep.
that really got me. I was like, "Dude, this I love how it shoots." Like, I love there's just something about certain FPSs that have, like, just I I I I made a little short on this, and I kinda kept referring to Call of Duty, and it does feel the shooting feels like Call of Duty, that kinda, like, snappy, quick I know I mentioned weighty, but it's almost not in a way too, because like, you can you can ADS in this game, like, in a split second and just take down enemies, like, super quick, so I just loved the the gunplay in this, and I will mention, if you are watching, a little backstory. We're trying to clean out like our basement and our house. So we've got like boxes and stuff like everywhere. So a lot of stuff is kind of blocking my big TV downstairs. So I've been playing basically all my games on handheld, and I haven't even been able to dock my Switch to record like proper gameplay. So the stuff you're seeing is basically just recorded from my Switch. It lets you do that, but it knocks everything down to a general 30 FPS. This game runs at like I think they said like 45. It's that I don't know what's going on with that number in a lot
Yeah.
of these like Switch 2 games. It's totally fine, and it
Mhm.
does feel very smooth, but the my footage doesn't represent, kind of what it really does look and feel like. Cam had even mentioned during uh the indie showcase when they show this game off, he's like, "Oh, Dead Zone Rogue, that's cool. It's coming to Switch too." And he's like, "Ew, it doesn't
Yeah.
look very good. It looks better
Yeah,
than
yeah.
what I'm even able to show here." So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of mention that. And then one of the other things it does differently that I thought was cool. So each time you enter this zone or room or whatever you want to call it, a door opens up, and then there's like this purple like barrier, and once you cross through that, you are basically completely hidden from all the enemies in the room for as long as you want until you fire your gun or throw a grenade or anything like that. So you can kind of like uh, place yourself in better positions. Sometimes you go into a room and immediately it's just this big open area and there's enemies everywhere. But if you go through the room a little bit, you might find a little hallway and there might be one or two guys in there. You kind of take those out, and then the other enemies, they don't always hear you or see you, but if even the ones that are kind of close, they start funneling down this hallway to come after you. You can just kind of pick them off. So
Yep.
it's got some strategy when it comes to that, which I thought was pretty cool. I think I've got like 8 hours in this so far, so I'm gonna keep going. I haven't even finished the first zone yet. I have gotten to that final boss 3 times now, which it's pretty long. There's 30 rooms that you gotta clear in each zone, and when you die, you start over at the beginning, so you gotta go through these rooms again, but like in roguelite fashion, you get all these materials and stuff to upgrade, your weapons, your basically everything, your health, your shields, and then in each run, you find all this typical, loot. You find better weapons, you find better gear, and in every 5 rooms that you clear, you get this little kind of break from everything where you go into this room and it slightly restores your health. There's a like a monitor on the wall where you can go in and upgrade the gear that you have currently with you. You can't do like the overall meta upgrades in the runs. That's at the very end, when you die. But you can upgrade the current weapons you have, your armor, your helmet, your boots, all that stuff too. So, thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I made it, like I said, I made it to the final boss of the Zone 1 3 times, and I've gotten real close, to finally taking him out, and then he finally kills me. So, but I'm gonna obviously get there. The more I upgrade everything.
Yep.
So yeah, and the the other kind of funny thing is when you die, you go back to this little hub area, and it's got multiple different like computer systems set up. One does your upgrades, one does your you can change like weapon skins and armor skins. You can check your stats. You have and then right on the kind of the corner, there's this plant, and it's the only thing that you talk to in this game. So every time I die and I go back into this room, the first thing I do is I go over and I talk to this plant. Obviously, the plant doesn't say anything, but your guy is very like gruff. He's very like kind of sounds like Master Chief
Very
in a
Doom
way.
guy. Yeah.
He's like very Doom. Yes, very Doom guy. And he's like, "What's up, Planny? You're my only friend." It just throws a little bit of humor into it, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, it's uh yeah, I kind of talked about the game, but let's real quickly kind of talk about like the actual Switch 2 version. I mean, it does run at 1440p. It uses DLSS, and it does have a very clean, very sharp looking image, on handheld. Yeah, so there are two performance options. You have consistent, which is 30. I just don't like playing at 30.
Yep.
And then responsive mode, which is the 45 frames per second. If you're playing it on docked, you do have to have 120 hertz TV, but the Switch 2 handheld has a 120 hertz screen. So I just played on there at the 45, and it's very smooth. So, and then the Switch 2 has all the stuff I don't use, mouse mode, gyro aiming, and all that stuff too. So yeah, I know.
I think gyro
I did the
aiming
same
is just
thing.
a bad choice. That's just
It's not
it's not
great. It is
comfortable.
not.
Yeah.
The only game I've played that I did benefit a little bit from gyro was the Splatoon games.
Oh, I thought you were going to say break your weapon in the wild, but yeah, Splatoon, you kind of needed it. Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't even use it I did not use it in any of the Zelda games. I don't like it in general, but the Splatoon games, I mean, it's like the one true like online multiplayer game on the Switch, and people do take it pretty seriously.
Yeah, they do.
So it does help a little bit just for that
Yeah.
little slight fine tune aiming, but for the most part, I don't use any of that stuff. So yeah, that's on Rogue. I'm having a ton of fun.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
This
is a cool game. This is a game though that I I have played it. I've only played 3 hours, so it's a game I know that I liked, but it's not one I've sunk a lot of time into. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. I do want to mention to you, this game has crossplay between PC and Switch too, so we might have to play this together.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So we should plan on doing that for like a live stream or something, because this is definitely a game I really enjoy as well. I love the elemental effects and upgrades and stuff in this game. It's super, super, super cool. Just being able to have that in a shooter. And as you mentioned as well, I think that the invisibility door is a brilliant move by this game. I think it's really unique to this experience, and it is very cool to be able to kind of reposition yourself so you're not just getting corridor slammed as soon as you
Yep.
come through the door. So that was a genius move by the devs, I think. And yeah, this game is a ton of fun. It's definitely one I would recommend. This has been released actually on PS5 and Xbox Series as well. I didn't
Nice.
know that, but
I
it started on PC. It has gone everywhere since, and cross-plat between every platform. So Jason and I are gonna have to play this together. But yeah, this game is really, really fun. I think this is a good one to recommend.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. For on any system. I
Mhm.
mean, if you enjoy just tight gunplay like that, I think that's what surprised me the most. Just with having it in a roguelike setting, sometimes these type of games, they kind of put, gunplay and stuff kind of on the back burner to kind of make it, easy. Not that it's hard, but like I was just surprised on how like responsive
Yeah.
and tight the actual gunplay was. I most of this footage is solo. You can play it solo
Yep,
just
just
fine.
fine. Yeah, yeah.
But I did open up my like lobby for other, people. I think I had three at different times. I had no more than one other person with me, but I don't know if it was just bad luck, but like the first guy that joined, I think he had his microphone inside a
Oh fuck.
speaker
Yeah.
playing music, and I'm like, "Nope." Then the
Yeah.
other guy, someone was like yelling at him in the background, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then one guy like didn't talk at all, and I couldn't say anything to him, and he like wouldn't enter like the next room. He'd be like running around. I'm like, "What are you doing?" So
Yeah.
I just was like, "Nah, nope, just gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this one solo
We're
for a little
fucking
while."
way too old for public lobbies, dude.
Dude,
We
it's so
enjoyed
bad.
that. I enjoyed that on the 360 era, but I'm too old for that shit now. But no, you got a friend in me, your
Yep,
podcast co-host. I will play this with you anytime. So, um,
100%.
um, Dead Zone Rogue is fucking cool. What the fuck was I
Yeah,
gonna say about this other
I
than
don't know,
that?
sorry, cut you off.
No, it's all good. And you're just making a solid point about pubs or shit. They're not. I mean,
Terrible.
it's very hard to
No,
find a tolerable human being other than the people
it
that you
is.
know. Um, but yeah, this game's cool. I would recommend it. It's something that I did actually do a run just to kind of refresh my memory before
Mhm.
you came on, and I was reminded. This is, however, the game that showed me that I have a brain disconnect problem when I play a shooter on my handhelds, because I play this on my Steam Deck. I played it on my Steam Deck, and the feel is wrong for me. So this is the one I have to use my mouse for, just because I've played
Yeah,
it with a mouse initially, and then went to my Steam Deck with a thumbstick, and I was like, I can't do this. I just cannot do this.
right.
So
Yeah,
it's one of those things is I have to be sitting on my PC to play, which has held me
yeah.
back. That's why I probably only played 3 hours, but it is a
And I
cool game.
will yeah, and I will say if the controls weren't, uh very good like they are, I would have probably had a harder time with this, playing in handheld. I will say there is a pretty handy, if not a little cheap, Snap 2, for
Yeah.
your aim down sights, but I don't really care. I still get that same satisfaction of, taking down enemies even if I like aren't aimed quite right at them, and then I aim down sights and it kind of snaps to it always snaps to like their chest. So
Right.
you do
That's
want to like tweak it a little bit to
exactly.
get like those headshots and stuff in.
Exactly.
So but it does kinda help funnel you into the right,
Right.
area, like, get your sights right on that enemy, so,
I was just
I was totally
to
fine with
stick
that.
to stick with you on that. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, this game does have it's got pretty strong aim assist, okay,
Yeah.
but it does do center mass. So there are turrets in the game where you have to shoot the base of the turret. So you do actually have to fine dial your aim in, which makes you feel a little. I mean, I don't hate aim assist. I like aim assist, especially for this type of experience. But the fact that they do kind of force you into hitting weak points and things like that is a very nice touch.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, like I mentioned, they change the weak points locations for different enemies, which is fun as well. And then just the last little comment that I want to make on this is as you've mentioned and as we've talked about, everything seems like it's a roguelike now, which is a bad thing, kind of. I love roguelikes, but
I do too. But
what's nice now that there's been so many roguelikes out there, they're starting to like not prioritize the rogue aspects, and they're starting to dial in on the actual mechanics that these games need to actually be good. So this is a good example of like, it is a roguelike, but it's actually very competent in its gameplay as well at the same time, which makes for a really nice combination, as opposed to like, this game is super rogue heavy, the gameplay's secondary, you just need to build your stats. And this is like a good combination of both. So
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is 100% how I felt playing this. I'm just like, this is a roguelike, but the shooting, it feels like a great first-person shooter.
So as more of these come out, we'll hopefully get some better mechanics in this genre. And like I said, I love the roguelike genre. Obviously, not everybody's going to, but it is the new hotness, and it's just good that the mechanics are being prioritized finally in this genre, because honestly, this kind of started with Vampire Survivors, which had no gameplay. So it's good that the genre is evolving, and we're going to see Soros later this year, which I can't wait to play and stuff like that. So we'll see. Other than that, though, yes, we need to play this sometime if we can figure out a way to do it. I would love to do some co-op Dead Zone rogue runs.
Yeah, dude.
So let's play on that. But check this out. It is $24.99 on every console. I don't know if it's still on sale on Switch.
Yeah, I think it is. I think I checked just a couple days ago, and it did say like 7 more days. So if this looks interesting, by the time this comes out, you'll at least have a couple days left in the sale on Switch too. I don't know about the other systems. So.
Sale drops it down to $19.99. So I mean, you're saving five bones, but $24.99 for this game, in my opinion, is well worth it anyway. So
it's so worth it, I think.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's going to give you a lot of game time, because Jason's got 8 hours in, hasn't cleared the first act yet. So there's a lot going on here. It's a good game to dive into, especially if you got some friends, and I can't wait to have a friend to play with. So
dude,
let's move on from there. We got a weird one. I posted a live stream VOD of this game. I'm always going to find the weird ones. Cup Heroes is what we got here. So I posted the live stream, and my brother Daxton and Jay. Daxton and Jay are both like, God, that game looks kind of fun. And then not only that, Jason watched the live stream and was like, damn, that looks kind of fun. So
what is this?
So we've all ended up playing this game. This game came out came out a long time ago. It's actually available on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, PS5, PC. I mean, this thing's been out for a long time. And again, no fucking clue it existed. But
nope, no idea.
Cup Heroes is a very, very mobile designed video game where you essentially play as a hero, and you go through stages. And during the stages, it's a roguelike. You're getting upgrades to kind of power up your character throughout the run. But what sets this game apart is you collect balls that enemies drop throughout the run. Those balls go into a cup, and after each combat encounter, you dump the balls into this kind of pachinko-style minigame where it just multiplies the balls to an extraordinary amount. And then you use the balls acquired from the pachinko game to purchase upgrades, and that's how the game progresses. So it's got that little extra juice, I guess, with the little mini game that you're playing in between each run. You're not just collecting a resource and then upgrading it. There's a little semi-strategy that you have to do. The nice thing about the little pachinko mini games, it's incredibly satisfying. I don't know what the hell. I mean, there's something about it. Like you just watch your balls go, and then sometimes you get a jackpot and your whole fucking screen fills up with balls, and it's just really satisfying. Is it doing anything crazy? No, not really, but it is a game.
Does it make sense? No.
No, but for some reason, I can't stop playing this fucking game. I don't know what the fucking deal is with it, but I always go back to it. It's a great pop in, do a run game. You can just, but for me, I have a problem. Like I start and then I'm like 2 hours later, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I need to play something else. It's hooked me like that numerous times. So I don't know. It's a really fun game. Graphically, not doing anything special. Music's annoying. Shut that shit off. It's a mindless game that if you're really just looking for something to pass the time with, this is a good one, and it's fucking addicting as all hell. And the only thing that I think makes it addicting is the pachinko minigame type of thing. So it's just a weird one, but I'm loving it. I have gotten to so I mentioned it's very mobile game focused forward, to the point that the UI was not even adjusted for the console ports of this game. It is very much, you can see all of the, I mean, it literally has the UI from the mobile game. It's just got buttons over top of it they didn't change the game at all and for the console release. So with that comes hard barriers with, you need a certain amount of gems to unlock armor sets if you want, or you need so ever many gems to unlock new characters, which there's like 20 characters in this game, which is like, but they're all tied to a gem amount. So you're inevitably going to hit a wall. I have hit a wall in this game pretty hard. I'm kind of able to work around it because on top of the unlocks you get in the run, you also get armor sets that drop from, basically, they don't drop from, well, they kind of drop from enemies, but they drop after a run. So like you'll die and you'll see that you get a piece of armor. And so where I started to kind of hit a wall was like I didn't have enough coins. I leveled up my account enough there's like a skill tree that you unlock based on your level, and these are permanent upgrades, the skill tree. But I didn't have enough coins to keep leveling. So what I did was I put on a full set of the collector set, and that increases your coin output for runs. So I knew I wasn't going to beat the run with that set, but I was able to put that on, and that gave me billions of coins. Like I went from a run with my like rogue set, which is the crit chance set, which is what I normally use. That run netted me like 240, and I think that the upgrade that I was at like 600 something, so it was just ridiculous. It was taking forever. The collector set in that same run, same circumstance, gave me 1,400 coins. So if you just swap if you swap the set out, you can actually get that shit going and keep moving your character forward. But definitely do that, because that's going to happen to you if you play the game. I'm sure Jason, it sounds like he's already experienced that. So just swap sets for a couple runs, do a couple runs, get your coins up, and you can move forward. But that's it. Game's cool. Yeah. For no reason.
Game is cool. And I don't know if you had mentioned, like the battling is all kind of auto in between these pachinko machine moments. When you go back to the actual like fighting, it just happens. It's all auto, which I think was pretty cool. But then on the top of the screen, you have this little bar that shows you basically how many battles you have to do before you get to the next pachinko machine mini game or whatever you want to call it. And I'm constantly like looking up there like, oh sweet, I got just this little group of enemies, and then I get onto the fun part. Not that the rest of it's not. I mean, but like I said, that's all auto, so it just kind of happens. Yeah. But you can kind of put some strategy into where you dump your balls out. And Cam even mentioned it in the in his little live stream that he did. He's like, it's always kind of aimed for if they're all different. All these games are obviously different with different multipliers and things like that. But then there's some of them that have this little jump pad.
Yeah.
And when the balls hit them, they fly back up so it's almost always smart to go for this jump pad, because your balls can have a chance to really multiply because they just bounce everywhere. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that it is super satisfying, but it doesn't make any freaking sense. Nope. Like it's like what you're defeating like zombies and ghouls and all this weird shit, and then I'm gonna dump my balls into this machine to upgrade my gear. It doesn't make any sense, but it works.
It works really well. And what's cool is like because of this pachinko game, which is basically the entirety of the game. Like, if you're not watching this, you're probably like, what the fuck are these
Yeah, what are
dumbasses
they
talking
talking
about?
about?
But it's really a game you have to like see. But they have these upgrades in the run where you can get like double ball drops from enemies, or you get an extra multiplier at the top of the screen, or you can unlock it'll boost like 3 of the multipliers in the pachinko machine up a level or something for that, or for the rest of the run or whatever. So there's so many times where you're just like, yeah, this would make me better, but I'm gonna have more fun if I just take the extra ball drop. So I take the extra ball drop. Like, it's just weird. It's really fun for no reason. But that's it. I mean, it's just a dumb, I say this all the time, it's a dumb fun game. It really is a dumb fun game. And you can play this on everything, including your phone, if you want to dive into it at a low barrier of entry. Everybody's got a phone, you can play it. So
Yeah.
cool game. Fucking not much else to say. This is not going to be a game that we're going to probably talk about again, even though I'm going to continue to play it just for the shits. But it
may come up, but not like a deep conversation.
Yeah, this is a mobile game. There's no end. This is just going to go forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, trying to get you to spend money. The nice thing about the console version, and I didn't play the mobile version, Jason did, there is no ads, which is good. Did you have any on mobile, though?
So the mobile version starts with no ads, and you can play it for a while, and then all of a sudden these ads start popping up right before you get to your favorite part.
Oh no, they stuck it right before the drop.
Yep. So they stick them right before that. So you gotta kind of sit through them and then wait for the little X to pop up to close the ad. It's $6.99. I did not purchase it, but it
good.
is $6.99.
I didn't know. I thought it was free.
No, well,
for the ad-free pack. Okay.
Ad-free. So to get rid of all that stuff, it's $6.99, and then there's obviously still microtransactions if you want more gems and all that stuff. But yeah, I played this for a while mobile, and at first I was like, okay, it doesn't seem to be too many ads. I can definitely see where the microtransactions are, but they let you play for a while before they start popping those in, and I'm like, nah, I think I'm good with the mobile version now.
Motherfuckers, yeah, I don't blame you.
Yep.
Little tip for anybody that's not a game. I doubt we have non-gamers still listening to this show, but if you're not familiar with these types of games and how to make these games work in your favor, there is a unlock in the game where you can spend 2,000 gems to unlock fast forward mode. Hold on to your gems until you can unlock fast forward mode. That's a very basic thing for gamers probably, but this is how you work these games in your favor. Don't buy 2,000 gems and then unlock the fast forward mode. Unlock them, you'll get them, and then you can unlock fast forward, and then just count your 2,000 gems as a loss at that point, because fast forward is very nice to have in this game, because each run is not taking an incredible long amount of time. You can progress further, but it's there for you to purchase at the beginning of the game. Just wait, is what I'm telling you. You don't have to buy it. You'll get enough gems to get there. So just play the game out, get that unlock, and then continue from there. Don't be a dummy and buy fast forward.
Yeah, and it seems like all the footage that I'm seeing, you've got the fast forward on, like
all
the
I don't care about the combat. I want the fucking pachinko game. Give me the pachinkos.
That's great.
Just keep that in mind. If you decide to start playing this based on our conversation, save your gems, get fast forward without buying it. If you feel obligated to spend money to unlock a character, you do you, baby. But just don't spend your money on that. You'll get it.
Yeah, there's better ways to spend your money in this game.
So that's every fucking mobile game. There's always going to be something that they're going to try to mouth water you to buy that you can unlock if you just play it. So just fucking play it out. Anyways, that's Cup Heroes. Check it out if you're interested in it. Pretty cool. So we have some follow-up discussions we're going to go into here now. Like I said, guys, it's going to be a long episode. Go back to this scene. There we go. So I'll just start with this, and then I'll let Jason go over. So, Slay the Spire 2, game I've continued to play since the last episode. I talked about it briefly on the last episode. Jason didn't get a chance to ask me anything. I don't know if he has questions on Slay 2 or not, but I've continued to play it. I played the Silent. I cleared a run, so to speak. There's only the first 3 acts available in the early access. So I actually beat a run with the Silent over the process of the week, and then I unlocked the first Ascension mode for the Silent. So I've continued to play the game. The game is really cool. I'm really enjoying it. It's going to be a game it's like a forever game for me. It's a game I continuously will pop into, fuck around with, and yada, yada, yada. So yeah. I'm still playing that. I just wanted to mention, I thought Slay the Spire was a nerdy niche gamer game. Like, that was my impression, was that you would hear someone talk about, like, I'd hear my wife talk Dicey Dungeons, right? And I was like, oh, I'm a fucking gamer. I'm a real gamer. You should try Slay the Spire. Thinking like it was a niche little game. This game is hitting 500,000 concurrent players on a daily basis on Steam. So to put that into perspective, okay, the most popular Call of Duty game ever made hit 200,000 concurrent players on Steam. This game is double plus some of that. So yeah. there's probably people that we work with that we don't even think play video games that are playing Slay the Spire 2. It's that fucking popular, which is so weird. Like, it's a game no one talks about, but everybody fucking plays. It's very strange. Not to mention, this is only in early access, only on PC right now, and it's still getting that number. And it is fucking absurd. Once this thing starts to get pushed out, the game deserves all of it. Absolutely deserves all of it. But I just can't believe how mainstream it is. It's fucking unbelievable. So I don't know. I thought I was telling you guys a hidden gem. Go check out Slay the Spire 2, but apparently word's already out. But the game is very cool. Very happy to be playing it.
Yeah. How much? So I haven't had a chance to try this out yet. I mean, how much does it feel like the first one?
Very, very, very much.
Very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just more of the same. Yeah. I mean, as I mentioned last week, I mean, they've redone the animations. It's early access. Okay, so early access we've talked about is not something we're really interested in. But for something like this, it's going to be a little different. For things like Hades 2, for example, that would be a game that we would probably dive into early, which that's already out. But that's just an example. Slay the Spire 2 early access released with plenty of content to justify the purchase price, in my opinion. So I had no problem buying it in early access. That being said, there are enemies in the game that are placeholders. Obviously, they don't have any attack animations, and instead of attacking you, they basically fly across the screen and slam into you, and then they reposition. So there's stuff that the team is still working on. Clearly, they made decent, but they're going to be replaced with something better at a later date. The only real change from Slay 1 to Slay 2 that I know of is there used to be, if you played Slay 1, when you kill a boss, there was boss relics, and those were kind of like the main thing you were going for to break the game open, was those boss relics. They've replaced the boss relic mechanic with a mechanic where you speak to basically a god at the beginning of every act. So you're able to get these relics in a different format, but they come to you at the very beginning of your run. So it's a little bit unique in that way. I didn't play enough of the first one to like give you a really great example, but let's just, you get a pretty strong relic in Act 1. You clear Act 1, you go to Act 2. The upgrades that these beginning act bosses give you are fucking massive. So instead of you starting to run, getting to the boss relic to hopefully get a good roll to blow your account up, you're able to choose it earlier, if that makes sense. So
yeah, it does.
It works just fine. It's great. the other thing I mentioned also, and maybe this is just my lack of knowledge of the first one, is there seems to be a lot more build diversity in the characters than the original. You're able to build the Silent with a poison build, which is what she did in the first game. But you also have this different Shiv build that I don't know if it was in the first one or not. I never experienced it, but you can take that character and instead of going the poison route, you go the Shiv route, which gives you a bunch of cards that are zero cost that you can just smash enemies with. So cool. The new characters, both of them are awesome. They changed the gameplay up significantly.
Sweet.
So that is very cool. The I don't remember their names, so I apologize, but the Necro Dancer, whatever the fuck the dude is, has a hand that he controls. So he's got like a summonable that's always out. And you can basically attack with the character himself or the hand. And if you level the hand up, that hand actually tanks damage for you. So it's kind of a interesting little change because you're able to kind of boost your ally that's with you, which is kind of cool. And then the fourth character that's new to this game that sits on his throne and just as an aura champion, dude's the man.
Oh, sweet.
He has two different meters, so to speak. So he's got like the regular cost meter plus he's got like the sun meter and then he's got a star meter as well. So you kind of have to balance them out. But if you can balance those two meters out, you can do some crazy shit with that guy. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so
that's different. I like that.
They're doing some cool stuff. I know that the plan for the future is to add even more characters. It's very worth, if you love the first one, the second one's going to be all up your alley. Awesome. It's very good. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
well, and you were mentioning about like the the different builds, and you didn't see a lot of that in the first one. I did play quite a bit of the first one. That stuff does come, but it sounds like in this one you're getting access to it a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
that's
cool.
That's the whole. I think that's how the game is designed, but like you get your characters very quickly. Like you start with the Ironclad, which is what you started with the first game. There's no unlock requirement to unlock the Silent except for playing a run with the Ironclad. So just one run and you unlock the next character. I'm pretty sure there was a little bit of a process or you had to get to a certain point to unlock the Silent in the first game. I don't remember.
More than that. I don't remember exactly, but there's definitely more to it than that.
Yeah. And that's every character. So
cool.
To unlock the what's the third character's name? I don't remember. It doesn't fucking matter. But you just kind of you one run with the character you just unlocked, you unlock the next one until you get all 5. And that's cool because it allows you to, kind of rotate between runs. Go, if you want to go in with the Ironclad, you're able to bounce to the Silent the next run and just kind of keep messing around and stuff. And it's great. It's good for early access because we were able to test out everything. And that's one thing that the original Slay the Spire did very well is they balanced that game throughout its entire lifespan. So same thing's going to happen here. I do think the game allows you to bust it though on purpose. Like it does a little bit better job of because Slay the Spire is great because it is a combination of difficulty, like feeling rewarding, and it really was like addicting because everything was so close and there were so many moments that you were like just barely squeaking by and stuff. I think this game is a little bit more allowing you to bust it open, which is fun.
Kind of like I like that though.
Yeah, which is fun. That. So
it's a cool I kind of had the same a same kind of feel when I got into the real late game ball pit stuff.
Oh yeah,
kind of really lets you bust it. You even had a clip that you had posted that you killed the boss before it.
Yeah, yeah. I was doing that kind of thing. Yeah,
I like that shit though.
Absolutely, this game is fun as hell. I guess there's a game called. Have you played Monster Train?
Oh yeah, I've played just a little bit of it, and I want to play more because people do talk about it like it's like fantastic. But my first impression when I started playing it, I was a little bit overwhelmed, and maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace. So I for a little bit. But it is one that I wanted to get back to because I don't really know
So the difference
I
between
kinda
Slay the Spire and Monster Train. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to just
no,
kill
go.
you. I'm trying to keep it.
Go.
Monster Train is built specifically to be busted. So if you like that, Monster Train, that's the difference between Slay the Spire and Monster Train. Slay the Spire is supposed to be the
Yeah.
difficult one. Monster Train's the one that you just bust.
Just bust open.
Yeah,
Okay.
so a lot of people that I've heard talk about the games are starting to say, that have played both are saying that Slay the Spire 2 kind of leans a little bit more towards the Monster Train formula, and that's why
Okay.
it feels that way. So I would maybe re-look into Monster Train again.
I'm going to.
I have not played Monster Train, but that's just what I've heard. So
okay,
cool. That's Slay the Spire 2. Game is fucking tight. I would check it. Also, I would love to have anybody. Jason doesn't have a PC. Somebody with a PC. I want to try to co-op in that game, so that'd be cool to do.
Yeah, this is like Cam mentioned, this is early access. This is on PC only. This will come to literally everything, and I'm gonna play it, but I there's too many other games. I can wait. Until this comes out.
I would expect like a year and a half, 2 years in early access for this though.
Oh,
so it's gonna be a little while before you get it, which it'll be worth the wait. The game's cool. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna let you kind of roll through what you're working on, and then I'll do my last thing after because it's
finish up with your last thing. Yeah. So I just wanted to basically touch on that I'm still working through Pokopia. I wouldn't say I've hit a wall, but it's like the time sink. It's a big time sink, and I just don't have all that much time, and I keep seeing other things, so
that's cool.
I am still plugging away at it, but I mean, I hop in, I do a couple things, I look around, and I'm just like, dude, there's so much that I can still do. It's not like the anxiety part is gone. I got over that hump, but it's the kind of overwhelming amount of stuff that you could do that I'm just like, this is gonna take so much time. So I don't know. I'm still gonna. I haven't given up on it by any means. But it's kind of been slightly put on the back burner.
No, I mean, so I'll touch on this quick because I'll talk for my wife here. From our conversation last week, I did post it in the last episode of the podcast, or as an individual video if you want to watch that. The conversation went well for my wife. She has been playing it again, but I can totally see where you're coming from. My wife, so she got to the end of the first world, like you mentioned, and she refuses with all of her heart to go into the next one.
I told her. I was there's still so much
I'm
to
like,
do.
have you gone to the second? Like, I'm asking her, like, did you get to the second world yet? Is there different, like, next gen stuff in there? And she's like, not even going there until I'm ready. I'm like, okay, fine. My wife that's her thing. She loves those grindhouse fucking, I'm stuck in this for thousands of hours. And what's funny is the way that you're explaining Pokopia is the way that I feel about every fucking like Skyrim Fallout I've ever played. That is the exact feeling that I have. So now you know my pain.
I know your pain now. Okay.
She's working through it. If you have to drop it, brother. It's all good. I mean, other than you spent the money on it, and that sucks. But
it's just. It was a game that, like, this was all you're playing, like, by all means, man, you're gonna have a hell of a time, but if you're like us and we wanna play other things, this is a pretty big time sink, and I'm not super fast at all, like, the building and stuff like that. I feel like I'm just, like, I'm not wasting time, but I'm just like, "Oh god, I could be doing something else."
This show adds anxiety, because I could have probably played Cup Heroes all week. And nothing but Cup Heroes all week. I was like, I gotta have something to talk about. So I want to put it out there that we don't have to do that. So if this became your main game, so be it. You could just have like a little segment covering it. But just running this damn show does change our gaming flow a little bit.
It does, but it's kind of how I've always been, with or without the show.
Yeah,
I want to experience other things, and just with our job and our personal life, we're older. I'm much older, and I've got other shit to take care of and stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So
I've been the same way.
anyway,
I was in a long streak of reviewing games and playing one game till I beat it to review it and all that shit, and that's gone out the window with this show. So it's changed for me a little bit, but I before I got really big into trying to make YouTube content and stuff like that for my other project, whatever the fuck, I was a bounce around type of guy. So I'm just kind of back to my normal old ways. So it's not that big of a deal, but it does add a little pressure.
Yeah. I've also been jumping in and out of the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition on Switch 2. Man, I've mentioned it before. Game is phenomenal in my eyes. If you enjoy that type of game, it hooked me back in like it did when I first played it back on the 360. Good lord.
No, that had to have been Xbox One.
Was it Xbox One?
Had to be.
Fallout 4. Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, but anyway, it's still playing that. I'll probably I'll probably end up putting that as one of my feature games coming up pretty soon, just because I want to talk about it.
I will say,
sorry. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Jay, the other Jay.
Yeah,
I've seen him. I've been peeping the Discord. He's been playing Fallout 4, so you got him playing that shit too. So Jason, with his hidden skill, fucking influencing everybody again.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone out there.
It's a good talent, dude. It's a great talent. Hey, by the way, if any game companies want to give us a code, I'll give it straight to Jason. He'll get everybody to buy your game for you.
Absolutely, do it. I covered Rotwood like 2 weeks ago. Still playing that a little bit. Maybe not as much as some of the other ones.
Is that game sped up at all?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
And I will say a lot of that comes with the collecting these like heart pieces that you take back to like your hub world and stuff, and I've just been dumping them into my run speed, my attack speed.
Yeah,
it really does kind of speed things up. I feel a little bit more powerful. So that, and I had a feeling that was coming, but it's working. And then I've been playing a little bit of Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War, which is a old school boomer shooter type of thing where you're in the Starship Troopers world and you're shooting bugs.
So like EDF?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Very like it's hard to. You ever heard of a game called Bolt Gun?
Yep.
Warhammer. Okay.
Yeah.
Think of that like art style in a sense, pixelated FPS. Like
interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like you have you're basically dumped on like a pretty big, it's open area, I guess I would say, and you can tackle all these different objectives, like go over here and destroy this thing that's like bringing all the bugs into that area, and then there's like bug hives, so you can kind of run around these open areas and tackle them however you want. And then you've got like your troopers that are along with you, and you can control your little like fellow soldiers to kind of come along with you by hitting a button. You kind of do this little like rally cry thing, and instead of them kind of staying in their little areas, they'll come with you on your like when you're moving from one area to another. But their animations are just terrible, but it's funny. Like they run just like legs just do this, and like they're almost like 2D in a sense, because like I try to like go around them to kind of see they're not even in 3D. It just the image shifts to like a side view, a quarter like back view to the back view. I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of funny, honestly. It fits the whole Starship Troopers being like just this B movie of like stupidness. It's a cult classic, but it's pretty dumb, and it does a great job of like fitting right in with that. Even the game itself is like it's totally not taking itself seriously. It's telling you that you're playing a video game essentially. The main character from Starship Troopers, I don't even remember his name. He's actually in this game as like a FMV, like there's a full motion video like intro and stuff, and he's like this general now, and they made this um like sim type thing to simulate to like help new troops go in and learn how to fight these bugs, and they're talking to you like you're playing this video game to get skills to be an ultimate bug hunter in the real world and all this stuff. So it's dumb. I only played for probably a few hours, but yeah, so that's kind of what I'm still as well as many other things. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
I just wanted to touch on those ones at
yeah.
least. So
I think I'm gonna make it a
yeah.
mandatory requirement for you to bring footage for Starship Troopers, though, because
Oh,
I
I
do
will.
need to see that. Because
Okay.
just reminded me a lot of like EDF, which I never got into Earth Defense Force, but
See, I did. EDF, which one was it that was on like Xbox One? I
fuck,
don't
I don't know.
even
They're on like
remember.
I think they're on 12 or something at this point.
Oh
Literally, I
God,
think they're on 12 or
it,
something. Yeah,
I don't even remember what there was one of them in particular that I did put a lot of time into, and
yeah,
it's just complete mindless shoot a billion bugs in this map
yeah.
type thing.
It's a
So
weird franchise. I just don't know anything
it's
about it. So,
weird.
anyways, yes, I'd be curious for that. But it's cool.
Okay.
Last game I have to talk about, Cresol. Cresol is done. Make sure I don't click the wrong scene. There we go. Beat Cresol. Hey, okay. So this is a really hard one for me. So to start the conversation, so this is the end discussion for Cresol. I'm done with it, as I mentioned. So I'm gonna talk about the game in its entirety. No spoilers though. I'll talk about like mechanics towards end game and things like that, but nothing spoiler story narrative related. So say
Right,
for
good
you
luck.
guys if you're interested, just to be prepared. If you don't want any mechanic discussion or whatever, go ahead and skip to the news. This is a game that if it was $60 or full price, I would tell everyone to stay the fuck away from this game, a million miles away from this game. The problem is, this game released at a budget price, and not only a budget price, it released at $17.99. So it's like, of course, we have to factor the price in to this game, and it's got me in such a weird position where if I was to like say what I think the game is worth, for example, I would say $20. So it's like, so it's like hard for me to like rate it. Is kind of where I'm at with it. So the whole thing that brought me to the game in the first place was the mechanic, the blood mechanic, and like just really unique kind of systems along with that. And that's cool, but is it cool enough to carry a game from front to back? No, it's not. The story here, the narrative is all presented, as I mentioned when I initially discussed it, through those little kind of red people, it's all presented to you in this very cheap way where, you basically get these interactions between people that you're basically just overhearing their conversations, and you got to piece it all together based on what they said, which is clearly a cost-cutting measure. But over the course of a 15-hour game, it's really hard to keep the narrative straight. Granted, the narrative here is not super in depth. It's as basically what I said. You're a member of the cult, or you're a member of the Church of the Sun. You go to Tormentosa. It's been overrun by members of the Cult of the Sea. So this whole area is just, you're basically there to fix the shit. The narrative is flat. It's very flat. It's not enough to be interesting. There's a big twist at the end. It's something you can foresee within the first 5 hours. Now, I was hoping like we would get to a point in this game where we would have a little bit more enemy variety, a little bit more diversity than just fighting these statues, because it just doesn't make a lot of sense why these are even animated or why that's the enemy that we're fighting, and why the only people that are in the area that are humans are defectors of the Cult of the Sea that are now Church of the Sun followers. Never happens. The game remains a shoot the statue game the whole time. It doesn't make any fucking sense narratively why that's the case, other than it's a cost-cutting measure. They're able to give you statues. They're able to redesign the statues into 3 or 4 different varieties, and there's not a lot that goes into it. They just replace the head, and that becomes a different enemy. Lazy. Doesn't make sense narratively. You never get any answers as to why you're fighting statues that move. So, a lot of plot holes there. Game is going for a horror game. I was not tensed up one time throughout this entire game. Not one moment was I like, scared, or we're nervous about what's around the corner. Never happens. There's these big plot sections with this massive kind of mech thing that's like the big enemy in the game. I don't remember her name. This game is so forgettable to me. I beat this a week ago. I can't remember. But there are these like somewhat stealth sequences where if you make too much noise, she catches your attention and chases you. But there's all these different doorways and stuff that you can just go into. And then once you go in there, she just kind of stands there because she can't get you. And then eventually she just walks away. It's like, okay. I mean, it's like, so that's not going to build tension when there's 15 different escape routes and the enemy. I mean, it has like one animation where it kind of reaches in, but it clips through the doorway, and it just doesn't look. It doesn't look good.
Not to cut you off real quick, but like, does it kind of reminds me a little bit of like, you know, especially the newer Resident Evils where they've got like that one, and does it do any of that where it's like, can you defeat this person if
unkillable?
No, okay, right,
unkillable,
but it doesn't work as well as like the Resident Evils where it's like,
you're in a fucking.
God, I gotta.
Okay, in the Resident Evils, you're in tight corridors, and the enemy at least can like bust through walls. Like that was one of the big jump scare moments for me in Resident Evil 7 was when you kind of sneak around the kitchen and then he busts through the fucking wall. So you never really feel comfortable. It's just not here in this game. You can't outrun the enemy, but there's always an escape route that you can kind of duck into, and then you know everything's fine from there. So there's
basically wait it out.
Yeah, there's no tension in those moments. I think I got jump scared once from a cheap ass jump scare. It didn't earn it. It just got me because I wasn't, it just wasn't expecting it. Excuse me. But I think performance isn't great in this game yet. I don't know if they're going to patch it, but like when you're not in a corridor or in a very tight space, the game kind of struggles to keep 60 FPS, and there's no reason from a technical aspect just by looking at the game that this should have any issue with performance. It doesn't look like it's crazy by any means. It could probably have run just fine on last gen consoles, or shit, it almost looks like a late stage 360 PS3 title in my opinion. It's not graphically very impressive. The lighting is nice. That's about it. That's about the only thing you can say is kind of next gen about the game. So yeah, I kind of hate this game. I'm not gonna lie. I hate to be that way. There's just not enough here for it to be worth your time. Like I said, I would say it's probably worth about $20. I think you should skip this by a mile. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. I'm gonna go below average just because I don't see a reason why anyone should go out of their way to purchase it. This is disappointing for me. This was my most anticipated game in the month of February. The trailers sold me on it. I love the aesthetics and things like that. It just doesn't capitalize on it. And that could be a lot of factors. Blumhouse Games is a very limited, small developer. That's obviously playing into it here. They had to make a lot of sacrifices to get this game out at the price that it released at. It's just not... It's not good. It's just not very good. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Sucks. Disappointed by it. but I'm not like overly disappointed. Like it was $17.99. I didn't expect this game to rock my world, but I kind of expected it to be good. I can't even say that it's good. So
Ugh,
that's kind of where we're at with that.
man.
Yeah, it sucks because I showed this to Jay and he ended up buying the game. He hasn't played it in months, but you know,
that should say
my
something.
excitement kind of got somebody else to purchase it, and I just don't. Yeah, I don't think it's very good. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I was in the same boat when I first heard about this. I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." Like, you know, wasn't my most anticipated, but I still thought it looked cool. But now I think I'm fine.
yeah, no, I think everybody should be fine. This is not one you need to play. There's no narrative. I mean, it's very flat narratively, which is what you would kind of hope for in this type of game. Doesn't really hit anything. It's just very. Very middle of the road, and then the combat's not good enough to warrant a middle of the road stat, so it just keeps fucking
That's kind of
dropping.
what I thought. Yeah, the combat just didn't look all that.
No, it doesn't feel good.
fun.
It doesn't feel good. You get a pistol, you get a sniper, you get a assault rifle, you get a shotgun, and then at the very end of the game, you get like a harpoon kind of grenade launcher. Yeah.
Okay.
Skip this game. Don't play it. This is not a game that I would. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, that's it. The game stinks, kind of. The game stinks. Okay. The game is not worth $17.99. Don't buy this game unless you can get it for like $3 and you're really, really interested in the setting and things like that. But just know it doesn't ever pay off. So
I think you.
There we go.
Said it all.
Yep, that's it. Creasol. I'm glad it's over. If I wasn't doing the show, I would not have even probably bothered finishing it. The final boss of this game is a fucking nightmare as well. It's like a very standard final boss where you have very obvious weak points. You know, if you've played games, you play this. There's like these little masses that are glowing that you have to shoot. But in this game in particular, you're using your blood as ammo. And if you don't hit everything picture perfectly, you will not have enough blood to kill the enemy. So you have to be perfect on the boss fight. And not only do you have to be perfect, if you take one hit of damage, that fucks the entire run. So it's not a good final boss.
Okay.
Yeah, skip this one. That's all I got with that.
Okay.
Bummed out.
You finish it. That's all. Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, Jason, I think that is good. That was probably an hour and 40 minutes of game discussion. Yeah. So let's take a quick break, and then we will hopefully fly through the news, and we will get on going with the show.
Yeah, we'll be right back, guys.
Be right back, guys.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Spawn Point podcast. We are now in the news section, and one of the things that kept showing up in my feed like crazy was the announcement of DLSS 5. If you're not familiar with DLSS, it basically stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling, which basically kind of makes an image look better than it was originally designed. I don't know all the whatever specs on what goes on in the background, but it basically takes an image or a moving image, a gameplay, and just kind of like adds a layer over top of it, and it basically changes how it looks. Some say for the better. Some say it's kind of taking away from the artistic, intent of what the developer was trying to do. So basically the article that we're going to dive into here is NVIDIA's DLSS 5 has been revealed, and PC Gamer, who this article is by, is not wholly positive on what this does. So At the NVIDIA GTC 2026 keynote, NVIDIA's CEO Jen Sun Huang introduced an almost entirely context-free sizzle reel for its new DLSS5 technology coming to GPUs near you this fall. And like we said, the reaction has been probably not what NVIDIA had expected. In some quarters, it's seen as transformative, in others it's seen as transformative. They use the same word, but in different contexts. So, on one hand, it has the potential to deliver a new level of photorealism into PC games this year, but on the other, it has the more obvious potential to homogenize game graphics and most especially characters way beyond what the developers and artists originally intended, and that's kind of what we were getting at. I mean, it changes like the faces of these people. They do look, I guess, better, a little bit more realistic, but yeah, I don't when I first saw this, I was like, okay. I mean, it does look like it can really enhance stuff, but I don't now the more I look at it, the more I'm not sure how I feel, and especially the whole artist, you know, uh, their initial design, it changes it. So look at it however you want. I mean, if you're watching the footage, this is Grace Ashcroft from Resident Evil 9. It changes how she looks. So it's kind of jarring in a way. And yeah, I don't think I really even need to go too much farther in this. So what are your thoughts on this, Cam? Bald.
Uh, bald.
Mhm.
I don't hate this.
Okay.
So it does. There was a lot of concerns about it doling developers' intended art styles and things of that nature, and I think that would be a problem for it to do that. However, we have another article that I'm not even going to pull up. We're just going to continue to roll this footage if you're watching so you can see the difference. But Bethesda came out and basically said that the developers have to opt in to this as opposed to it just upscaling anything and everything that it wants to. So why is there sound now all of a sudden? If the developer has the option to have this implemented or not, so to speak, then I'm kind of okay with it. I do think that at least in the screenshots that they've showed, it does do a nice job of modernizing faces and things like that, which kind of harkens to what we've mentioned, how the leaps in technology are kind of coming to an end, and this is like a massive step forward. I don't think it's to the point, like at least for me personally, I'm not getting Uncanny Valley vibes from the upscaling that's done here yet for some reason, and I can definitely see how that's the case if you get kind of weirded out by how realistic they look. I'm not quite there yet. I'm just curious to see how this kind of works in motion, more so than how it looks on these little snippets. Like in my opinion, I think Grace looks better with it on. Personally, I mean, it takes her kind of flat facial features and bumps them up, and it looks very nice, and it's not hitting me as too realistic that I can't look at it. You know what I'm saying? No. So, but all of these, except for the very last thing that they show with FC, all of it's stop freeze framed. So this could get really fucky if you start like kind of once the animations go through this, if it's going to really change things, because we don't get much, we get a little teeny bit, but I don't know how it's going to perform beyond just kind of these still shots. But I don't hate this necessarily. I would have been wholly opposed to it if I didn't read the article from Bethesda where they said that it's optional for devs to implement this or not. And if they choose to, That's their prerogative. And if they don't want to, if it's a very highly stylized game, don't use this. I mean, that's totally fine. I mean, there's a lot of memes out there right now of like Link from Ocarina of Time with DLSS 5, and he's got like this fucking face that doesn't belong. I mean, that's obviously an issue. That's obviously an issue, but I don't think that's where this is gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it. I don't hate it.
That's kind of how I am.
I have to see more, but the general consensus in the community, at least the vocal community, is this is horrendous. I'm not necessarily on board with it being the worst thing known to man. I think it's a pretty cool piece of tech, honestly. So I'm interested to see how it goes further. I mean, if animations look like shit with this, then obviously I'm not going to like it, but I just need to see a little. I need to see a little bit more. That's kind of my 100%. That's my stance on it. So
I agree. I'm a little mixed on it as well. I don't hate it. I just kind of not sure how I feel exactly. How do you feel about, like, the one thing I thought about when reading this and watching this footage is developers purposely being a little on the lazy side, knowing that this could just, but they don't have to spend as much time on, like, characters and stuff, because hey, a DLSS 5 is gonna make everything look better, which it could if they opt into this. I just don't know how I feel about that. But maybe I don't care.
No, that's a good question, and that's interesting to think about. I didn't think about that beforehand. So I don't know. I don't like that. I really don't like that, because this is not going to be this is a PC thing. This is not going to be on the PS6 or the Xbox PC, whatever the fuck it is. So this is so they still have to maintain a level of fidelity for other platforms, and I would hope that developers would do that. But I mean, fuck, with the AAA industry nowadays, you never know. You never know what the fuck's going to happen. And I don't think, just to reiterate that point as well, I don't think we're going to see our beloved indies have DLSS 5 compatibility. I just don't see that. This is a AAA technology. Yeah. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I think as long as you have the option to turn it off or turn it on, and we don't start seeing them cheaping out on the people that design the product, just with the anticipation that this is going to make it revolutionary, I think then it's okay. But this is like the only thing I can think of that really moves gaming forward.
Okay, I was in the same boat.
Yeah, so
I think that's why I don't hate it all that much, because I'm like,
that's where I'm at too.
We just talked about how, like, we just don't see these jumps anymore, and this is a pretty big jump. It's not like holy shit, but it is like, oh wow, this really is pretty powerful. So maybe this is something we kind of need. I don't know.
I don't know if we need it. But yeah, I mean, it is. I can see, like, I don't experience Uncanny. I mean, you know what Uncanny Valley is, right? Right? So I can see this hitting people that way a little bit. It doesn't for me. Sure. It does not for me. It still looks like a game to me. But but it's getting pretty damn close. But again, this is the advancement in tech that we're not going to see this from any other thing. This is where it's going, I think. So, what a weird thing. I wish I had a more solitary answer, but honestly, at this point, I'm just like, let's see more of it. Let's not fucking criticize it. And again, if I think before Bethesda made that comment, people thought that this was just in everything. And in that case, then we would have a bigger argument, right? Because it would be taking games like, what's a super highly stylized Hi-Fi Rush, for example, or something. This would not, like, this would look like shit if this had an option. Yeah, right. So, if it remains a decision up to the dev if they want to have this option in there or not, I'm okay with it. We just need to see more. So I'm just my take is just hold your horses on it, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, I agree. I like that.
So that's where we're at. Cool.
Yeah, cool. Do you want to go into any more of the Bethesda article? You kind of
not really. I mean,
it, but, okay.
yeah. I just think that it's good to have that knowledge that it's at the hands of
yes.
It's with the developers that they can make the decision if they want to keep their game stylized. They can do that. It's not permanent. It has to be on type of thing.
Very true. Yep.
So, thought that was a good thing to tie in there. Now, next thing in general gaming news, Jeff Kaplan, the former Overwatch dev, tells players to shut the fuck up about negative opinions on games they don't even plan to play.
Oh, I love it.
I agree with him. I mean,
100%.
We run a gaming podcast where we're talking about everything. So we are going to cover trailers and have opinions. So I think it's okay to have opinions, right? But it's to the point in the industry now where like you see one person have an opinion on a trailer and then it explodes. And then all of Twitter is exploding over this negative review, and then everybody jumps on the popularity train, and then before you know it, everybody's boycotting it and all this sort of thing. So this is just kind of a way, I think, for him to quell that, like the outrage culture. People take gaming too goddamn seriously, bro. Like,
sure.
And this is kind of his response to just being like, if you're not going to play it, just don't have a fucking opinion on it and just leave it be.
Yeah.
It's not for you. It's not for you. That's fine. And it's weird for us to say this because we're kind of in the media space now because we are making a podcast where we give our opinions on things. But at least in our defense, you know, when we cover our monthly release thing, we'll just be like, oh, we're not going to like dumpster a fucking game on there. Right. We'll just be like, yeah, this looks like it's not for me. And then we kind of move forward from there. We're not like trying to start this big outrage fest over whatever. Like, and that's kind of how we approach it. So honestly, I think people are kind of up in arms at Jeff for this comment. I think it's a good comment. So I just wanted to put it in here.
Yeah, 100%. I read this and I'm like, oh God, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that he's saying this. And to back up what you said a little bit about, like, you know, when we have opinions on stuff, I mean, if we have strong opinions one way or another, we've played the thing. You know, we've at least given it a shot. And if we're like, nope, it just, you know, but like he said, I mean, these people are commenting on this shit and haven't played it, don't plan on playing it, and just spewing just
bullshit
shit about stuff. It's like, dude, what? Don't you have anything better to do? Apparently not.
I mean, you would just think like the state of our world right now, not to get political, is fucked. So we need an escape. We don't need to have everything be so fucking like overly fucked. It doesn't need to leak into every fucking thing. So like just, you know, let it fucking be, for Christ's sake. Gaming is supposed to be fun at the end of the day. It's not supposed to be like a outrage culture infests our fucking games. Like, yeah, I agree. When we have opinions, it's because we are somewhat knowledgeable, and we're not like and we're not like shitting on something we've not played. You know, I hope that comes across, because I know I've been negative. I know I've been negative about open world games, but I hope that if you listen to the show, you understand that I'm trying to understand it, and I'm not bashing that genre. I'm trying to learn it, so I can try to understand it better. But like, I just think this is good. I think we need more people to step out. I just think the whole volume needs to be turned down.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I love it. I love it too. I think it's a solid thing. Have you seen this Legend of California thing they're doing? Too?
No.
I haven't really either. I don't even want to go into it. It's basically Overwatch, but it's in like Goldmine era California.
No, I was looking at that as you were scrolling. I was like, oh, what is this?
So open world online first person shooter set in California during the gold rush. So it's an interesting premise. I don't know. we don't know enough to talk about it, but
I'm gonna keep our eye on it at least. Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, let's just turn the volume down, guys. Let's turn the volume down and
please.
Yeah.
There's already enough negativity in the world.
No shit. This is not the forum.
I feel like
for
an
that.
old man, but I'm just like, dude, I'm so tired of this.
I can't imagine young kids not feeling that in this day and age. Maybe we're wrong, but it's just the whole world's fucked. Anywho's, oh boy.
Anywho's,
let's move on.
Let's move on to some. I got a little bit of Xbox news. There wasn't a whole lot, but I did want to throw this in. And the reason I want, well, let's just start with the article real quick. So Xbox Series X and S is getting its first dashboard update in ages. Quick resume and upgrade are included. So the article says after what feels like months and months of Xbox updates centered around PC and cloud, Microsoft has today unveiled a new set of Xbox Series X and S console features rolling out to Xbox insiders. So you do have to be a member of the Xbox Insider program, which I am. It's pretty easy to get into, and then it will eventually roll out to everyone. So the dashboard itself is getting some fresh refinements, including the ability to add more groups to your homepage, new color settings, improvements to the Series X and S quick resume feature, and more. So yeah, like more groups. So you've got your your games, your apps, your groups. So there's just they're letting you do things like add games to favorites in your groups. Things you want to finish. So games you want to finish, you can put those in their own group. So, excuse me, I thought that was pretty cool. There's more custom color settings for stuff, and a huge deal, but whatever. You kind of, it's more for personalization. You can kind of tweak things to your liking. Now, the quick resume settings I thought were kind of interesting. So quick resume is one of the most loved features on Xbox. This is coming from, I don't even know. This is someone inside the Xbox ecosystem. So it's one of the most loved features on Xbox. But they've heard that for certain games, it doesn't always deliver the experience you expect, especially after long periods of inactivity. With this update, you can disable quick resume on a per game basis to ensure that those games launch fresh. So I thought that was kind of cool. That you can do that. There's new Xbox Guide profile badges. Nothing crazy, but just a little tweak. It looks like about it. Now, the reason that I did throw this in here, we have kind of talked trash about Xbox. We just don't know what they're doing, where they're going with this stuff. All that aside, I have always loved the Xbox UI.
Same.
I've always thought the Xbox UI was great. So seeing that they're doing this kind of stuff to keep it fresh, keep it going, I just thought it was cool. I thought it was worth at least mentioning on the Xbox side of things. So
I agree 100%. I love Xbox's UI. It's one of the main things. Like the original 360 UI was fucking awesome. I love that shit so much, dude. And then
so good.
So yes, I agree with this. I think it is cool that they're doing this. It's going to be a little interesting. This, I think, is starting to lean. These UI updates are starting to show us what the, how do I put this? It's starting to kind of show what they're going to be doing for the Xbox hub for the next console. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
for the Helix.
So I don't know if you're familiar with like Steam Big Picture mode.
No.
Basically, you can launch Steam in full screen. So it basically turns like your PC into like a console dashboard. And that's what Xbox is doing with their PC thing. Because we're supposedly getting the Xbox hub for Windows 11. So I'll essentially have access to the Xbox UI for their new console once it hits PC, and I'll check it out and stuff. But we're starting to see some things changing, and this is a great idea, having like a more like customizable UI experience for I think that's all good and stuff. There's no issue there. yeah, this is a good thing to mention. And as you said, I've always loved Xbox's UI as well, and I think this is all good stuff. Do you even use Quick Resume? I fucking never use it. I close every game I play. I've never used it.
Well, because it's on. I think it's on by like default. Which I guess I do kind of keep it on. But like they even mentioned in the article, it doesn't always work 100%. So I have found that jumping back into a game, sometimes it like stutters a lot, like it's trying to remember where it was and stuff. So sometimes I do end up just closing out of it and relaunching it fresh. But I have used it.
So, does PlayStation have anything like this or no?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I manually go in and close out of every game that I play. Like when I get done with a High on Life session, I exit the game and then I hit start and close the app.
Yep.
And then I launch my next game. I would never like pause it, open something else, and then want to go right back to where I was. Like I just don't do that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done it before.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's on PlayStation or not, but I still don't think I would ever do that. It just feels like it's taking up hardware space that I want for whatever I'm playing else. But
yeah, and I would assume it does. It's got to be using at least some of it. So what I have used it for in the past is like I guess racing games and stuff, like not like mid race, but like some of those games, do take a while to kind of boot back up and get back into stuff. So I have used it for that, jumping back and forth between different racing games, which I don't recommend because different racing games play differently. And I'm like, ah, shit, I'm like fucking up everything.
Yeah.
The most notable thing that in the past was, bouncing between like Forza Horizon 5 and the Crew Motorfest. I was enjoying both of those games simultaneously, so I was kind of bouncing back and forth and just kind of picking right up where I left off. But yeah,
my brain.
It's just nice that it doesn't close it all down. What?
My brain would not allow me to. I think I'd be like, I'm not getting every ounce of performance on my game. But anyways,
I get it.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool feature. Yep. I just never used it. Anyways, moving on from there, PlayStation. Nothing really crazy, but the Portal's the Portal got a firmware update that allows it to run a new performance mode called 1080p high quality.
I think it's cool.
Yay. So they already have a 1080p mode.
I don't even have one, and I'm excited about it.
They already have a 1080p mode. This is just basically the unrestricted version of that. So I played Tokyo Extreme Racer and I turned on the 1080p high quality mode. Looks a little crisper. I mean, just minimally, and it's you have to have really good internet for this to be. Yeah, I mean, you have to have really good internet, really good Wi-Fi, because obviously this thing is running Wi-Fi. So you have to have really good internet to really take advantage of this. And honestly, I just felt like I ended up putting it back on just the regular 1080p mode. I didn't see much of a difference, and I figured I would rather just have it be a little bit more smooth. Especially
always the smoothness.
Yeah, so I just popped it down. I mean, the whole point of this is to reduce input latency and things like that. And I've got as good of internet as I could possibly buy in my city, and it just still. I don't know. I had it on. I didn't notice enough of a massive change that it really felt necessary, but it is cool. So if you want to, it's just a new option on the Portal. They're also adding some new things to the Portal, as far as when you popped a trophy on your Portal, it just showed the icon of the trophy and what color it was. Now you actually get the correct pop-up showing what you unlocked and things. So they're adding some new stuff to that. I mean, I think the Portal's a really cool device. It's one of the most comfortable portable devices I've ever held. It's not even really to be honest. You need to have a Wi-Fi connection to use the damn thing, but at least they added the cloud streaming in so you can access your library as long as you have an internet connection without having to tether to your console. But I think the Portal's a cool device. It's actually reasonably priced. It's only $200, which, I mean, the controller is $70 in today's day and age. So a little bit more, you get a nice screen on it. The screen looks good. I think it's a really cool device. It's very worth it if you're a big gamer and you want to have this kind of thing around your house. But I just thought this was cool. You're getting unrestricted streaming now if you want that. So
very cool.
That is that. Well, it's time for everyone's favorite.
It's Nintendo time.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
What do we got for Nintendo this week?
Nintendo time. So, just last week, the Switch 2 got an update, which basically allows Switch 1 games to benefit from the new boost mode on the Switch 2. It's simpler than it sounds, essentially. So, whoa, freaking ads, man. I swear to God.
Yep.
So terrible. Oh, fuck the article. I'm just going to go into it. So basically what it does is it allows your Switch 2 to play Switch 1 games as if they were docked. So when the Switch 1 screen was a 720p output device. So everything that you ran was in 720p. When you docked your Switch 1 on your screen, you could play up to 1080p. So just a little increase in resolution. So now your Switch 1 games on your Switch 2 can run at the full 1080p resolution. And it does make a difference. I wasn't 100% sure at first. I jumped into some old Switch 1 games that I'd been playing on my Switch 2, and I did notice a difference. And if you want, there's a bunch of videos and stuff out there that they really go pretty deep into, like literal side-by-sides with like a scroller, and like the texture quality is just it's a lot better. That's what I can say. And then it didn't, maybe this is just me, but like it didn't mention anything about like performance, but like maybe, like I said, maybe it's just like me, but I felt like things ran a little bit better. I don't know. It's basically like just a graphical improvement, a higher what am I trying to say? A higher fidelity in the picture quality. So it's an automatic download onto, I mean, if you keep your Switch 2 connected to the internet, it'll just give you a system update. But if you haven't, I mean, I have talked to some people that were like, I don't really even have it connected to, the internet. I'm like, well, you probably should, for one, and two, connected at least enough to download this update. It's just gonna make all your Switch 1 games just run that much better.
Yeah, perfect.
So
great.
Just a quick little article. Just thought it was cool. Didn't see a ton of other like Switch 2 Pacific news, but thought this one was pretty interesting to talk about.
It's gonna be a hard one to judge, especially in your case. But have you noticed decreased battery performance when you do this?
Yes. Okay, that is the one thing that they did mention, because it is using a little bit more power to boost these games. It does drain the battery a little bit more. Doesn't matter to me,
right?
Because even when I play in handheld, I have it plugged in. So I think it definitely outweighs the the battery consumption, unless you just only play handheld away from any way to plug it in.
Yeah, then you'd notice for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Yes, and then you can turn it off. There is basically a little toggle switch in the settings that allows you to turn off and on the boost mode. So if you're on a flight or something, and you're like, I don't really care if it's like super high quality, but I need a little bit more battery life, switch it off, and it'll play like it did.
Perfect. So that's cool. Yeah, great that they're thinking about boosting those. Switch 1 games and stuff like that. Bakery's on this list as a one that's got a
Yep.
massive boost.
It's one that I popped back into
Yeah.
just to check it out, and it did make a difference.
Yeah, I really want to play Scarlet and Violet. My wife has it. I just don't. I sounded like a fucking tard. But this was Scarlet and Violet 3D as well.
Yep.
Okay, so I sounded like an absolute idioto
Oh,
when I was talking about Winds and Waves. It was like, oh, it's 3D. Like they'd never done it before.
I didn't even pick up on that. Oh yeah, it was a full 3D open world, pretty massive game. So,
Anyways, cool stuff.
cool stuff.
Switch doing Switch things. Let's move
Switch-
on from there. I don't think I have anything else. I'm just happy they're doing that. That's great.
Yeah,
thinking
it's
about the
just
older
a cool
stuff.
little thing. So,
Hell yeah.
So next up, it would have made a little bit more sense last week, following Mario Day, but fuck it, I'm doing it now. I've been playing more Super Mario World. I started a new, basically a new run in this. Just Mario Day came around, and I'm like, what should I play? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play my favorite Super Mario game, and that is
Damn
Super
right.
Mario World. So just been hopping back into this. It's still so freaking good, man. It still holds up. You can't say
course.
that about everything on the Super Nintendo, but it holds up, man. It's just a fun game.
It is so good.
Just a great 2D platforming Mario game. I would assume most people have at least heard of it or played it, but it's just one that you can go back to it at any time. So
At any time.
like I said, I just started a new playthrough and have been playing through Super Mario World. I've beat this game many times, so I don't know if I'll go all the way back in through
Yeah.
it, but still having a blast, man. Still loving Mario games.
Of
to
course.
this day.
Timeless art style. This game is old and it looks beautiful still. It's just such a
Yeah.
awesome game. Yeah, there's nothing quite like it. This game ages better than some of the early 3D games for sure. It's just a incredible game. It really is a game everyone should play. Most people probably have played. It's an all-time classic for absolute sure, and definitely one to go back to anytime. No matter if you've never played it before and you're a youngster, you'll love it. It's so good. It's so good.
So good.
Yeah, it's well worth it. I didn't do anything special for Mario Day. I was gonna play Yoshi's Island, which is the one I have the most memories of, which is odd, but
It's still a great game.
It is a great game. Crying baby Mario and all.
Crying babies.
But it's cool. And then we talked about this also. They did not actually do anything crazy, Nintendo didn't. They just put a couple things on sale, which is kind of a bummer for Mario Day, but
it's about all they did, and then they released two Mario related games for the Virtual Boy. So
that's
which I don't have and I won't get, so it's fine.
It's kind of not worth it at all. But
no, it's not.
This is just we always talk about it, man. Don't be afraid to go back to older games. If you're just playing Roblox or whatever, there is so many good games back from the past that you should go back and visit for sure. And this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, and I'm playing this on basically the Nintendo Switch. I'm sorry, the Super Nintendo app on the Switch 2, which has got a bunch of pretty classic Super Nintendo games on it. I also have the SNES Mini. Did you see that when it came out? And it's on there too. So and that's actually hooked up in my daughter's room. She pops onto these old games every once in a while. So I've got multiple ways to play this. So
yeah, the old dog bone controller. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. Not much to say. Just go back and play these. They're a ton of fun, and whatever one you go back, there's so many options for Mario. Sunshine, I think, is a timeless art style. I think Sunshine aged better than Super Mario 64. Just another point in Sunshine's favor. I will die on the hill that Sunshine is better than Super Mario 64. You cannot convince me otherwise. It is a better game, in my opinion. So yeah, just Mario's fucking cool. It's going to remain to be cool.
Mario's cool. Look, I got my
Hell yeah! Look at that shit. Look at that, themed perfectly and everything. Beautiful.
Yep. Yep.
Great stuff. So
Great
cool to
stuff.
see how far games have come in all these years. You know, what am I talking about? All right, let's go ahead and take our last break. We're gonna come back with the community section, and then we will get the show wrapped up. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll be right back.
Yes.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Spawn Point Podcast. We are in the community section, the final section of the show for episode 9. We had a pretty quiet community week this week just because like I said, I was lazy this week. I didn't post much. There wasn't much to comment on, so that's kind of on me. But
me too.
We're just going to go ahead and cover what I covered on the mini pod from last week. But Jason's here, so I'm going to let him answer because we had a great question from Jay. So I'm going to let him kind of weigh in on that. And then there was a short comment on his Fallout short that I want him to answer and not me. So that's kind of what we're doing for the community section this week. So if you guys want to be featured in this section, comment on Spotify, YouTube, whatever you want to do. Send us Discord messages, whatever. We'll go ahead and feature you. We'd love to answer your guys' questions and all that fun stuff, but let's just jump right into it. So the first one, I had Jason's audio file. I'm not going to play it again. Sorry, Jay. But we're just going to recap it briefly here. So Jay asks, question for the next pod or short, has the genre of games you enjoyed now changed since you were a kid? Do you still lean towards those older genres you first enjoyed, or has there been a shift? So he basically mentioned that he was kind of working and he was thinking about Command and Conquer and how much he wanted to play Command and Conquer again, and kind of led him to formulating this question. So what is your take on this, Jason? What do you think, and how would you answer this?
Yes, I actually loved this question, so I wanted to keep this in because this is something that I have thought about myself for quite a while now. So obviously I started back on the NES. The original Nintendo Entertainment System was my first console, and I mean fell in love with it from basically day one, and loved those old school, well, weren't old school at the time, but now old school games. And as consoles progressed and everything got better, I was right along for the ride. I loved seeing every new iteration of this stuff, and really soaked in all these newer games over the course of many years. But what I have found myself is, and it could tie to the fact that we don't see those generational leaps anymore, and it probably has something to do with my age too. I have kind of slowly gone back to those more retro style games. I absolutely love that indies are kind of in that as well. They are like, well, let's do some more like retro style games, but with these kind of modern, innovations and stuff. And I am all for it.
Yep.
I absolutely love it. And I was thinking this a lot, lately, about the fact that I'm like, I didn't really think about it. Like, I didn't plan to be like, man, I just got through playing like whatever the newest AAA thing was. I think I'm done with that. I think I'm gonna go back to it. Just was a gradual thing. It's just a thing that I started doing, and before I knew it, all of a sudden I'm like, my last like 5 games that I played were like these old school retro type of games, along with actually going back and playing some of these old retro games as they were when they released. And I thought I thought at first, I was like, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if anyone else is doing that. And then literally after I read this question, I was listening to a different podcast, and like there's like 5 guests on this show, or 5 basically hosts essentially, and 3 of the older guys were basically saying the same thing. They're like, you know, after all this innovation and stuff with all this new technology, and that's cool and all, but that's kind of starting to level out, and I'm finding myself gravitating more towards these. I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one. So I think it's just something that happens, as you get older, there's something comforting in those retro style games. But I do love I talked about Pipistrello a while back. I mean, that looks at first glance, you're like, is this a Game Boy Advance game? I mean, looks like it, but they do some things that probably weren't possible, on that, older system, but it
Yep.
it still feels like you're playing in a retro game with better quality of life,
Yep.
improvements.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've definitely so I mean, basically his question was, do you find yourself going back to, you know, games you enjoyed as a kid, and 100% for me.
100%.
So,
Me, yeah, I answer the same way as me too. I mean, I'm I go back too, but I don't go back as well. I do go back as
well,
far. I've played a lot of when I was. I've always kind of had this thing. I mean, even when I was a teenager, I would emulate SNES stuff just because I wanted to play it because I didn't grow up with it, but I wanted to like experience that older stuff.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, there's a lot of cool like tech advancements and things like that, but there's something special about going back to before a time where that was the case and
Mhm.
just seeing how the developers worked around it. They still made a quality product without all these crazy features and things like that. And those games still hold your attention and you can still run through them just like you could any other game that comes out in today's day and age. So I love the history aspect of all of that stuff. And nostalgia is one of the strongest forces in the universe. So
Yep.
almost nothing beats it. So it's always fun to go back and play those games from the past. So
Well, and we've even talked about it before, like how you were like, I kind of miss the days where you literally put a game into the system,
mhm.
you turn it on, and you play the game. Like
Yep.
there's just, we just don't have a lot of that. Like, I haven't played my Xbox in a little while. I'm gonna turn it on, and it's gonna be like, you have 7 system update
Yep.
and 5 updates for the games that you play, and that's fine. That's cool that they're able to do that. Like if something's broken or something, or needs a tweak, they can go in and do that. It's just you still kind of miss that. Like I just want to play the game, man.
Yeah, right.
Like
Just want to
I've
play
had
the
times
fucking
where
thing. God damn it.
I've had times where I turned that thing on and I had to walk away. Like it's like, well, it's gonna take an hour for this update, so I'm not playing anything.
Yeah, and
So
then like it's just also interesting too because that could contribute to like a lot of problems with the industry nowadays, right? Like that you have a safety net
yes,
where you can use the internet to
yes,
release and fix shit, and back in the day, they couldn't push a firmware update to Super Mario World. You know what I mean? It had to be
it
complete
had to
out
be
the door.
content complete.
Right. So it's just, I don't know. I would have never thought we would be in a position where we'd buy a disc and have to fucking install the fucker and all that bull crap. But it's just
I mean, there's been developers that have literally released unfinished games
on
and
purpose.
yeah,
And then
and
they,
through the
they
course
call
of
it live service. No,
oh,
don't get me started on that crap.
I hate that
Um,
shit. Yeah. So
um, but
yeah,
but yes, there's always going to be value in going back and
for sure.
I recommend everyone do it. Not just
Do
Jason
it.
and I. It's
Do
there's a
it.
lot of gems back there for sure. For
Some of these
sure.
games basically started some of these concepts that are still used in games today. So go
100%.
back and experience some of these things and you'll see like, this was the first game that did something like this, and most likely it is. I mean,
Yeah.
look at like Ocarina of Time with like its Z targeting and stuff. I mean, that was like at the time it was like, holy shit, this is a new, and now games use it left and right. So I
Yep.
mean, it's just something cool about you know, seeing something used for the first time. So
Yeah. I went back and played Final Fantasy 1 and I did not necessarily enjoy the game, but it was still cool to see
yeah,
like where that whole genre kind of
yes,
started, you know what I mean? So it doesn't age that great, no, but
no,
I just love the history of it. I love seeing
yep,
that sort of stuff and it's just cool to go back and visit. So there's a lot of reasons
100%.
to go back.
Yeah.
Games are cool from all eras. Even Pong is fucking cool. So
First game I ever played was Pong on my Commodore 64. Well, my dad's Commodore 64.
nothing wrong with a good Pong every now and then.
Yep.
So yeah, great question, Jason. Again, you got 2
Yeah.
episodes worth of answers. So that's
Look at you
awesome.
go.
Next one here, last question we're gonna go through from Aiden Hutton. This was on Jason's Fallout 4 short that he posted. I feel like they could have put Fallout 4 on the Switch 1, considering they have Skyrim pretty much runs the same FPS as Fallout 4 on some of the older generation consoles. So, what's your take on this? I answered it, but this is your comment.
I agree that it could have been done. Like he said, the Skyrim was on Switch 1. It played fine, and I think Fallout 4 probably could have played fine, but in a way, I'm glad they waited, because with the slightly more powerful system, everything just kind of just runs better, even if it's not like graphically crazy. It just, with the Switch 2's slightly more powerful system, it's able to run that much better. I do think, like he said, I think it's the same engine that they use for Skyrim. There is a little bit more going on behind the scenes in Fallout, so I don't know how well it would have ran on the Switch 1. I'm sure it would have been doable, but like I said, I am glad they kind of waited on that one and not tried to push something out that just didn't run the best or look the best on the original Switch.
That's my exact take. Literally my exact take. Like, I they could have. That's cool, but I'm glad they kind of waited. I mean, Fallout 4 is not a game people needed to have on every fucking iteration of every console. Like, Skyrim was overdone. I'm just gonna put it out there. It doesn't need to be on every fucking thing known to man. You could probably play Skyrim on your phone. So it just doesn't need to be the case. Can you really?
I think so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Or maybe I'm thinking of Blades. There's like Blades, which is
that's right. Yeah. There's Blades.
Yeah. But dude, at this point, you could run Skyrim on a phone. Yeah. I think my daughter's Tamagotchi plays Skyrim. So.
Yeah, seriously. Do they still make Tamagotchis?
They do.
Oh my gosh, cool. So yeah, great comment as well. But yeah, we're both kind of happy they waited, and that's cool. That's a show. That's a good episode.
That is a show.
Fucking good to be back. Jason, thank you for coming back and joining us, man.
Anytime, man.
We're gonna hit episode double digits soon. Maybe next week.
Maybe next week?
Yeah. So anyways, that was a good show. I appreciate it. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm glad we were able to connect and shoot the shit again. It's always good.
100%.
What am I playing? What am I playing right now?
Oh, yeah. I mentioned what I'm still plugging away at.
Yeah. I guess
what do you got next after Crusoe?
High on Life 2. High on Life, I guess I'm working to finish.
Yep.
I have been looking for some shit. I have this big ass backlog, and then I'm just browsing free to play games and finding Cup Heroes. Like, what the fuck am I doing? So I don't know. I need I want to play like Immortals of Avium. I know that game kind of got shied on a little bit, but it's another first person shooter that I want to kind of get into. It's a PlayStation exclusive. That's why you don't know what it is.
I don't know about that one.
So I'm thinking about doing that. I'm still kind of shipping at Tokyo Extreme Racer again. That's just not a game I can talk about. It's just the same thing. I kind of want another racing game, but I'm not going back to Solar Crown. My cat is literally pissing me off. So anyways, games are going to continue. We love video games. 3 more subs on YouTube. Can we do it this week? That would be fantastic. We just need 3 more and we can live stream. I don't think anybody cares. We still live stream on Twitch. I didn't mention that, but you can go to twitch.tv/Spawn Network and you can catch our live streams where we play F-Zero Friday, and I continuously miss F-Zero Friday. But this Friday, fucking Christ, we just had one. I missed it. Shit. I will be there next Friday.
You addressed it, though. You said in our Discord, you're like, shit, we missed, F-Zero Friday.
That's right. I got a fucking... I did too.
That was the night I watched that.
Ass.
Oh, that's right. That was the night that I watched that wonderful movie instead of playing F-Zero.
Yeah, so that will happen. We're constantly thinking of things to put out for you guys, original content wise. We'll continue to do that. But yeah, the show continues. Games keep coming out. We keep talking about them.
Continues.
That's it. Let's get the fuck out of here. This intro is going too long. Jason, thanks for joining me again. You're the best. We'll catch you guys next week. Unless you see us sooner on the YouTube channel. I'm out of here.
You will. All right, later.
See you guys.